225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, party plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com. Oh, by the way, we do shutters too.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Commissioner Greg Sankey, during his remarks to open SEC Media Days, reiterated today the league is focused on its 16 members and he's not recruiting any others. The SEC is at 16 thanks to the additions of Texas and Oklahoma. No surprise who was selected as the top-ranked quarterback in the NFL. An ESPN survey of nearly 80 league executives, coaches, and scouts, it was Patrick Mahomes. Rest of the top 10, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Matthew Stafford, Justin Herbert, C.J. Stroud, Aaron Rodgers, Jared Goff, Dak Prescott. There are, however, two notables missing from that list, according to ESPN football analyst Robert Griffin III.
Brock Purdy proved to us down the stretch of the season that he was not a passenger on that team, that he was driving the bus. And Tua Tagovailoa, to have him not on this list is not only disingenuous, it's disrespectful. It's a spit in the face. He's been a top 5 quarterback the last 2 years.
NBA Spurs rookie Stephon Castle shut down the rest of the Vegas Summer League because of a right wrist sprain. The Mets' Pete Alonso favored to win baseball's home run derby tonight, 8 Eastern, ESPN Radio.
Hey, it's Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike. If you missed any of this week's shows, make sure to check out the Unsportsmanlike podcast on the ESPN app or wherever you get your podcasts. And be sure to tune in every weekday at 6 a.m. Eastern. It's Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios. That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR presented by Relief Windows. We are live on Radio Row. Day 1, SEC Football Media Days. Our coverage all week presented by Parrish Construction and Relief Windows. Y'all, it is a total vibe here in Dallas. I think people are, the energy's palpable. It's been a great first day, and we got a ton to delve into. LSU is done for the day. I had a chance to visit one-on-one with Brian Kelly, Harold Perkins, Garrett Nussmeier, Mason Taylor. You will hear all of that today. Peter Burns will be with us. Cole Cubelic will be with us as well. Alex Huntley, defensive tackle from South Carolina, will be here. The Ole Miss Rebels and Vanderbilt Commodores are currently taking their turn, so we will give our best effort to find Jackson Dart and maybe Trey Harris, from Ole Miss. We got a ton to do, and so pumped that you're with us. Let us begin as we do every single day.
It's time to pop the top on another edition of AFR with Bud Light. Drink easy.
So Greg Sankey opened up SEC Football Media Days. A short time after that, it was Brian Kelly and the LSU Tigers taking their turn. And BK has been fantastic with his accessibility. And before Brian Kelly met with or went through the main room and his whole day at SEC Football Media Days, there was a breakout session just with select reporters from Baton Rouge who got to sit and visit with him. I did have a chance to visit one-on-one. But before my one-on-one, he kind of had a scrum with 15 or so reporters. And one of the questions that was so interesting was why Brian Kelly has been able to be so successful in year 3. Remember, year 3 at Notre Dame was when they went undefeated and played in the national championship against Alabama. Year 3 at Cincinnati, He had a fantastic year 3 with the Bearcats where they, where they went 11-3 and played in the Orange Bowl. He, in his 3rd year at Central Michigan, was when they went 9-4, made their first bowl game. It was his 4th year at Cincinnati that they had the undefeated season, played in the Sugar Bowl. But year 3 is when you've seen that parabolic run-up for Brian Kelly, and explain why they've had that type of success year 3.
Year 3 is a level of accountability in every program that I've taken over that is heightened. There's a trust factor and an accountability level within our process that kind of, I would say, pops, if you will. And that's this year. So this will be the most accountable football team that we've had at LSU. This will be a team that trusts each other at its highest level. And that has historically led to on-field success.
It was interesting to also hear Brian Kelly talk about the 3 players he brought today. One of the best sound bites we heard was about Garrett Nussmeier, where he compared Garrett Nussmeier, and I will play this audio for you a bit later in the show, but he compared Garrett Nussmeier almost to to a car, whereas in the past, Garrett, it was like the program was a used car or a rental car, where you might ding it or leave some trash in it, but when you own the car, you're going to take more care of it. And he said that's basically Garrett now. Mason Taylor, he said, is one of the best football players on this team that has just been overshadowed in an offense that has tremendous amount of star power, and he wanted Mason Taylor to be here so that the rest of the college football world in the conference can know how good he is, where everyone knows how good Will Campbell is already. And then Harold Perkins, Brian Kelly gushed over. 3.6 GPA, one of their best student athletes, and wanted to have Harold Perkins have this opportunity. So that's why they chose to bring the players that they did. And as I mentioned, you will hear from each of those 3 on the show today, as I had a chance earlier to sit down with each of Nussmeier, Harold Perkins, and Mason Taylor. But I did have a chance to spend about 5 minutes one-on-one with Brian Kelly. And this was after his media scrum, where they covered all the big stuff, right? The how is the defense going to improve, the new assistants, all that sort of stuff. And I wanted to get nitty-gritty on a few things with Brian Kelly, and I started by asking him for an update on Zy Alexander, LSU's cornerback, who, of course, tore his ACL a year ago in the Army game.
To say, when you get 90 degrees flexion after the ACL, you're ready to go. So he'll begin lateral movement here probably Monday of next week. So we think we'll have him ready for camp.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah. So he gives us more depth at that position and give him a chance to go compete for a starting position.
How'd you feel about the corners coming out of spring?
You know, it was a mixed bag. We were trying to do some things that were a little bit different. I think we were, not in a mode of who's the starter, who's the backup, who's the third string. I think it was really we were just trying to get a sense and feel for the group. And at the same time, looking at the safeties and what the best fits were there. I don't think that we got focused on who was a starter, who was number 2. I think we'll be a lot more, focused on that when we get into camp. I think we felt like they needed a little bit more time in the weight room before we got into, all right, let's see if we can roll this guy out. We felt like we had some guys that needed more time in the weight room, Stamps, PJ. I think those guys needed to get physically stronger. We felt like we needed to get some weight off of Toviano. We still hadn't made a decision with Sage. So I think it was a little bit more in flux. Get Zy back, see where we are there, and get a good evaluation of Jawan Johnson.
Is Sage going to play safety?
Well, that's what I'm saying. We're not
sure yet.
We're not sure yet. We want to see the development of the young safeties with, obviously, Allen, Gilbert, Burns. We've got some veterans and some young guys. And I think that I know this is a long answer to your question, but there's 18 scholarship players back there, man. And so I told them, don't rush into tiering this in the spring. let's be patient and let this thing develop through the off season, and then we get into camp, we can start to make some decisions, and that's kind of what we're going to do.
I do radio. You can be as long-winded as you want to be.
Yeah, but I'm just trying to give you the real sense of 18 scholarship players. You know, to start saying you're number one, number two, half those guys are going to transfer.
Right.
So let's be patient with it and figure it out.
No, context is good. What about Trey Holly? An update on Trey's situation? I think the last I saw, there was a judge recused himself and pushed it back.
So that was J.R. Belton's dad.
Okay.
He was the judge in that county. Okay. He had to recuse himself because of the familiarity. Because of that, they had to move the case back to next week. It gets adjudicated next week. It should be over with next week. We're hoping that finally ends this saga and allows him to move towards the next step.
And obviously that's a way more serious thing than football, but is there when you don't play for a year, as long as this has been for him, does he stay in football shape? Have y'all been in contact? What is?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's been allowed to go to class, so he's been able to work out. He hasn't been working out with the team, but he's in a regimented workout program that has been monitored. We monitor his academics, so we're able to do those things. And so there's been oversight, so it's not he's off by himself. He's here in Baton Rouge, so there's been a lot of oversight there. I think when hopefully this gets taken care of, that he'll be able to come in and work his way back.
How was your summer? Just some fun stuff.
Good. Family, we went to the islands, the British Virgin Islands. First time we've been able to get the whole family together. So it was fun. We were able to, I think for the first time in maybe 15 years, actually do something together as a family. So it was nice.
Why 15 years? How does it take that long?
Because you got kids in school, working out, you've got internships, you've got people doing different things. It was this 1 week, and I'll tell you what the real reason is the calendar. We had that last week in June off this year because it went dead the week before, so I was able to squeeze out the middle, that last week in June, where it didn't interfere with July 4th. Because everybody July 4th's got their own thing going. Yeah. Because I got 20-year-old kids, they got their own thing going. So it worked out pretty good.
Cool. How much golf did you play?
Not much.
Okay.
Not much golf.
Best course you played?
Best course I played was in Scotland. We played, they changed the name of it. It's where they played last year's Scottish Open. So I played a couple of courses in Scotland. Played well enough that I can say that's my golf for the summer.
Thanks.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Our visit with Brian Kelly earlier today here just off of Radio Row at SEC Football Media Days. It is day one. Our show open is brought to you by Bud Light. Drink easy in Louisiana with a great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR, the official beer of your Fighting Tigers of LSU. This summer, if you're working at Media Days and need a cold pop after a long day, hanging out by the pool, the beach, whatever it may be, make sure you've got plenty of ice-cold Bud Light. We're thrilled to be partnered with our friends over at Mockler Beverage. Amazing people over there, great community partners, and obviously, of course, the official beer of the UFC, and so much more. Bud Light. Drink easy with the great taste of Bud Light, the official beer of AFR. All right, quick break. When we come back, from the coach to the quarterback, had a chance to visit with Garrett Nussmeier today as LSU is taking its turn on Radio Row. And I hope that you'll enjoy the conversation as Nussmeier here is ready to take the reins of the Fighting Tigers for the first time after waiting very patiently his turn over these last 3 years. So we'll continue. Garrett Nussmeier joins us next here from Radio Row at SEC Football Media Days.
AFR.
Love telling you about Duplessis Builders. If you are thinking about building a pool, if you have a home with a pool that's maybe dated, needs some updating, you need Duplessis. DuplessisBuilders.net, DuplessisBuilders.net, DuplessisBuilders.net is the website to start it. Listen, there's a lot of great companies that'll build you a pool. But the bottom line is when you talk about Derek Duplessis and Duplessis Builders, what sets them apart is the construction standard. It's why when they go to these painstaking efforts to make sure everything is done to standard, Duplessis can offer you a 10-year workmanship guarantee when the industry standard is 1 year. Why? Because they take the time to do it right. When they excavate and then spray gunite, it takes 21 days for concrete to cure. They're not going to start doing tiling and coping until that concrete cures, which allows it to last. You want a consultation? Talk to my friend Derek Duplessis at Duplessis Builders. DuplessisBuilders.net, DuplessisBuilders.net.
Bayou Ford has $10,000 off F-150. $10,000 off the new 2024 Ford F-150. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Rev Business is here to connect your company beyond your storefront. We're here to power your passion, improve your communication, and link you to your customers with the services you need and the local support you deserve. Backed by our commitment to 5-star reliability. For a limited time, get internet plus 2 hosted phone lines for only $133. A powerful combination at a great price. Visit letsrev.biz. Rev Business.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, party plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com. Oh, by the way, we do shutters too.
Today's Radio Row, our coverage presented by Parish Construction.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows, windows, doors, siding. Oh yeah, they also do interior shutters.
Rolling along here, day one, SEC Football Media Days, Radio Row. Our coverage presented by Parish Construction and Roofing, also Rev Business and Relief Windows. Opportunity to visit with the signal caller for the Tigers. It is Garrett Nussmeier joining us. How are you, man?
I'm good. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
It's our pleasure. I appreciate you for jumping aboard with us. And by the time you get to this point in the day, when you've been talking for 3 hours, you probably answered everything 1,000 times. Is there anything you're sick of answering today? So I know what not to ask.
No, I'm all free game. It's all good.
I don't know that I believe you entirely. Okay, what did you get peppered
Previous
with the most
hailstorms
today?
have caused hidden damage to countless Baton Rouge homes.
Sorry about that.
No, it's all good.
Actually, let me do a pickup. I'm gonna start over just so that's not in our ear.
We can start over.
All right, here we go. 3, 2. Day one, SEC Football Media Days. We roll along here from Radio Row. Our coverage presented by Parish Construction and Roofing, also Rev Business and Relief Windows. And it's our pleasure to be joined by the signal caller of the Tigers, Garrett Nussmeier. How are you, man?
I'm good. Appreciate you for having me.
That's our pleasure. I know we get to this point by the end of the day. You're ready to go get your steak, but I appreciate you for jumping aboard. When you do get to this point in the day and you've talked for 3 hours, Is there anything that was the overwhelming theme that people kept hitting you with throughout the course of the day?
Well, I think a lot of people are excited about Harold Perkins. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And I think they're very excited about the tackles we have, and obviously, the receiver unit that has stepped up. So I would say I've got a lot of questions about that. A lot of questions about learning from Jaden Daniels, which was obviously a great experience for me. And then a lot of questions about waiting my turn and being, I guess, everybody keeps calling me a unicorn for some reason, but yeah, it's been cool. I'm blessed to be out here. I'm very thankful. So.
Did Jaden teach you how to run for 1,100 yards?
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't know if that's going to translate, but we'll find out.
Like that's got to be the thing that when we look at what LSU's offense is going to look like, it's just the stylistic difference, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Jaden was an incredible passer. You've got all the physical ability, but what do you think the offense does start to look like when you let me ask it a different way. How do you make up for 1,100 rushing yards that the quarterback had?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you get the rushing yards from your running back. I think that, Coach Sloan has been open about that we're going to be able to run the football this year. And, with the running back and with tight ends in different ways. I think it's no secret of kind of how we've been transitioning. Obviously, me and Jaden's skill set, like you hit it on the nose, it's very different. And, I'm a very pass first type of quarterback. And so obviously, I don't have the running ability that Jaden does. I don't know that anybody else does in this world, probably, as far as at that position. So yeah, I mean, obviously it's going to be a little different. We're still going to be just as explosive, I believe. I think Coach Sloan has done an unbelievable job kind of meshing it into what he wants it to look like.
You said you're a unicorn. People have called you a unicorn. Well, it's obvious because you've waited your turn. And it's just we all know the climate of college football. Guys don't wait. Why did you wait your turn?
Yeah, I felt like, it was just takes me back to high school, when I was trying to make my decision. And I felt like through lots of prayers and things like that, God brought me to LSU for a reason. And I felt like it would almost been a disservice to him for me to just pack it up and leave. I feel like if you read lots of stories or anything you can learn from God's word or things like that is, you always have to wait for his timing. A lot of times people want things when they want it. And, truthfully, there was a lot of temptation. I love football. I wanted to play football. And I don't know that anybody could wrong me for that, for wanting to, to play the game that I love. But like I said, Louisiana is my home, and I feel so much pride and so much, love for this state and this university. And so, you add that on top of what I believed of, trusting in God and waiting, my turn and just keeping my head down, putting my faith into him and going to work and hopefully, just trying to get better and wait for, his time to play out.
Were you tempted at times to leave? What was the closest maybe you came?
I mean, I wouldn't say that I was very, very close, but I would say, obviously, I had the thoughts, like I said, I wanted to play, I love football. I wanted to be able to play football. But, there were a lot of different things, like I said, that played into ultimately me deciding to stay. And so, I would never say that I was about to enter my name. I never got there. I don't think that I could have ever got that close. I think I could have had the thoughts, obviously, and had the temptations to want to think about it. But I don't know that I ever really had a real direct conversation about it.
Garrett Nussmeier is with us here, Radio Row, for a couple of more minutes. I'm always fascinated whenever there's players that are sons of coaches. I know you've talked plenty about your dad and been asked about it over the years, but do you, we talked to Mason a bit ago, obviously, and his dad played and coached, and it's so interesting with that dynamic. Do you feel, knowing your teammates who maybe didn't have that upbringing, do you see a contrast or advantages, pros or cons with that, having grown up the son of a coach?
Yeah, I will say the one thing that I noticed freshman year was, whenever we would go into different situations, like we played at Alabama, my freshman year in a road game, a night game in Alabama. I'm not saying my teammates were all nervous and stuff like that. I'm just saying, whenever I was out there, I literally could look to the left and remember myself being 12 years old standing right there. And so like things like that, like I'd already been in those moments, not obviously as a player, but just being there and being around the stadium and getting to experience different environments that most kids aren't able to, get to experience. So, I'm extremely blessed, and I'm very thankful to my parents and my dad and my mom for, getting to allow me to be able to even be close to a part of something like that. And I would definitely say it benefited me that way.
Are you superstitious?
I'm a little stitious, not a lot of stitious.
Okay. Give me one of your stitions.
I would say like on game days, I do everything a certain way. You know, like I do things by routine. I'll get dressed the same way, have the same schedule. I would say I'm more of a schedule type of person. Like I don't necessarily like freak out if I don't have the certain thing, but if something gets off time or like off the way or the like the order that I normally do things, then I start to freak out. So,
who's the most superstitious player on the team? Or
that's a
just
good question. I
weird.
don't know. I feel like I don't really know any weird superstitions. Okay. I feel like there definitely is some. I just don't know that I know them.
Who's the player on offense we're not talking about that we should be?
Man, that's tough. I think Josh Williams deserves more credit than people are discussing for him. I think if you look at what he's been able to do, I mean, you go back to some of the most recent, biggest moments that have happened over the past couple seasons. You think about the overtime win against Alabama. You pull up Jaden's touchdown run, and if you watch it, watch Josh Williams. Watch what he does.
The
he doesn't
lunging
make
block.
That block.
Yeah.
He doesn't make that block. We don't win that game. I mean, I'm not saying that, but
sure.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, you never know, right? I mean, he makes that block, and Jaden's able to go score. I mean, obviously, we were very talented, so I do believe we still would have won the game. But just the things that he's able to do, right? Yeah, I didn't mean that.
No, of course. I know what you
But
meant.
the things that he's able to do that people just don't notice, and that goes into our winning. You know, he takes pride in pass blocking. I've never met a running back like that in my life, but he cares about pass block. I mean, he literally will have conversations with me all the time. Hey, did I do that right? Like, hey, let me know if like he genuinely cares about and takes pride in his pass blocking. And for me, that speaks volumes about him as a person and as a player. Just to have somebody like that. And you know, obviously, we have a lot of talent in that running back room, and they're all very, very talented. They're all very, very selfless, and they care about the team. But I think Josh is somebody that hasn't gotten enough credit.
Why is the defense going to be better this year?
I believe the defense is going to be a lot better this year just because of, you know, the different ways that they're doing things. And also I think the maturity of the players has, like, you know, continued to grow. You know, Perk got it, not that he was immature, but just when you spend 2 years versus 3 years in college, obviously, you know, you're going to grow. And I think, you know, there's been more buy-in to Coach Kelly's, you know, culture and his, you know, way of doing things. And so obviously I believe Coach Baker is an unbelievable football coach, and his scheme and his system pushed me every single day this spring. I mean, I think it's a very, very challenging system to go against as a quarterback. So I think that, you know, the defense is going to grow in that way, and I'm really excited for them and, you know, to see what they're able to do.
What do you got?
Well, Alexander McQueen's going.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got my Jordan 1s.
I like those. Yeah.
You like those? Little
I do. Yeah. Those are really cool.
I got a little chocolate in them.
Yeah.
Just so as not to be like all purple and golded out today. You know,
right.
Look, I mean, there's a little purple in the shirt too. You mentioned the purples.
I like
and all.
it. Yeah.
When you go eat, what are you going to order?
I don't even know where we're going to eat.
You're going to that steakhouse downstairs.
Oh, we are? Oh, I'm about to get a big steak.
That's why all these guys want to come here.
Oh,
like,
hey,
that's
I
your
didn't even know about
bro.
that. Dude,
like,
I'm excited now.
You talk for 3 hours, and then they take you to get a gigantic steak, and you don't have to pay for it. How do you get it
my day.
How do you get it cooked?
Medium rare.
Yeah, come on now. The quarterback of the Tigers, Garrett Nussmeier. Thank you for the time.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you for having me.
We are here at Radio Row SEC Football Media Days. Our coverage all week long brought to you by Parrish Construction and Roofing, parrishbuilt.com, parrishbuilt.com. Very thrilled. Me, my partners, Ryan Terrio, Richard Tilley. Of course, if you have or think you might have roof damage, we'd love to give you that free, no-obligation roofing inspection. You can start at the website. It's super easy. Go to the website, fill out the form right there on the homepage. We'll be in touch, and our goal is that from the moment you reach out to us, the only thing you have to do is pick out your shingle color. We will handle filing your insurance claim. We will handle meeting your insurance adjuster. We will handle getting your claim approved. We will obviously handle the roof repair or replacement. It's Parrish Construction and Roofing. Go to parrishbuilt.com, parrishbuilt.com, or if you'd rather talk to a living, breathing human, not an answering service, you can call 364-1007, 364-1007 for Parrish Construction and Roofing, bringing us our coverage here from Radio Row all week long from SEC Football Media Days. Parrishbuilt.com. Do business with someone you know. Parrish Construction and Roofing. Good convo there with Nuss. We appreciate him for taking the time. I think for Garrett, a lot of the conversation that I've had today, and just candidly, when the day that's LSU's day on Radio Row, I'll do more interviews today than I will like the rest of the week combined. You've heard me say that before. It's just because everybody tries to center their coverage around whoever's there that day. And so when you go do a dozen different interviews in a day or somewhere along that, you end up finding out sort of the pulse of what people think about LSU, because I'll do interviews from WNSP in Mobile, and then Nashville, Norman, Oklahoma, Austin, Texas now, obviously, with the Sooners and the Longhorns. And pretty consistently, I'm asked about when you consider Carson Beck and Quinn Ewers and then maybe Jackson Dart, Jalen Milroe, that upper echelon, like where does Garrett Nussmeier fit? Is he next? Is he in that mix? And I think it's a very fair question. But, for me, I look and I say, okay, for a guy like Garrett, I can't help but think of the recent history with Mettenberger, the jump he made from year 4 to year 5. Burrow, the jump he made year 4 to year 5. In their second year as a starter. Jaden Daniels, year 4 to year 5. Again, all in their second years as starters at LSU was when they had the big giant, kaboom. Is that the same for Nuss? Will he be really good in 2024, but if he comes back for 2025, is that the big boom year? Maybe so. Or does it happen more quickly? That's going to be one of the more fascinating test cases. LSU is just a fascinating swing team in the league this year. That's not always the case. But because they lost so much, but the expectation is still high, it's what makes them hard to figure out. Like, Georgia's going to be great and Texas is going to be great, and everybody feels like Alabama and Ole Miss are going to be really good as well. Like, LSU is one of those teams where if you play a handful of toss-up games, that's the difference. Your record in those 50-50 games is the difference between being 10-2, 8-4, and being in the playoff or being in the Texas Bowl. So, a lot of it's going to hinge on, obviously, the job Garrett Nussmeier does. Okay, it is after further review. Our coverage here from Radio Row brought to you by Parrish Construction Roofing, also Rev Business and Relief Windows. Relief Windows, our title sponsor of our Monday shows all throughout the year, so we appreciate y'all for being with us. Let me knock out a quick break. We'll come back. Had a chance to visit with South Carolina defensive tackle Alex Huntley as well from Radio Row. Interesting because the Tigers visit the Gamecocks this year, Week 3 in Columbia. We'll talk to the big defensive captain of the Gamecocks when we return from Radio Row at SEC Football Media Days.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Darren James and Associates, brokered by LPT Realty. Every home listed by every company, all in one place. You know where to find them, agent225.com, 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 and now on the Darren James mobile app. So if you have not done so yet, open up your app store. This is your call to action. Do it right now. Go to your app store. Download the Darren James app. Just go type in Darren James. Easy, spelled just like it sounds. Download the Darren James mobile app and open it up on your phone, whether you're into real estate, whether you're thinking of buying or selling right now, or you just want to keep up with market conditions. The Darren James app is an awesome way to do that, because if you want to search for homes that are listed, you want to look at pricing of homes, values, if you want to look at great information on the app, like the benefits and trade-offs of home ownership as opposed to leasing, or you want to learn more about mortgages or realtors, or if you want to chat with Darren, you can do it all at the Darren James app. So go to agent225.com or download the Darren James app today.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood Subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
and looking forward to 50 more.
Farming is a way of life for us. It's not something we get up in the morning and dread going do. It's just something we go to bed at night looking forward to getting up to go do. John Deere equipment is what we as farmers strive to have. It's in your blood, it's in your veins. It's just a part of who you are. Green is what we want to be in. The other tractors were acquired to patch it up to get to where you want to be. Where we want to be is in John Deere. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows, windows, doors, siding. Oh yeah, they also do interior shutters.
We continue Radio Row SEC Football Media Days, Day 1, and a team that LSU will face this year in Columbia, South Carolina, are the Gamecocks, and defensive lineman Alex Huntley, good enough to join us for a couple of minutes here. How are you, man?
I'm doing well. You know, it's a really cool experience. I'm very blessed and just happy to be here.
What has been you get to a point in the day where you've talked for 3 hours, you've gone to all these different interviews or whatever. Like, what is the most common thing that you're asked on a day like this?
Either a question about Lenoir's new quarterback, or just how does the team defense specifically plan to bounce back? Really, you know, just after that season last year, you know, what's the plan for this year, kind of thing.
What is the answer to that?
Yeah, I think one, you know, it was to hit the portal and get some freshmen in, and that's what we did. Our depth is so different this year and a lot better, and so we have so much competition at every position and at every level that guys are forced to get better, or, you know, they might not get the play they want. And so that, in one, it's just a mindset, you know, kind of change the mindset maybe a little bit. You know, if you were working hard last year, work harder this year, you know, do more, because it's a championship standard. And so if it's not aligning with those goals, then you really don't need to be doing it.
So South Carolina is a team that I find so interesting because it's a program that has been to Atlanta. It's been to the SC championship game. Now in a post, no divisions, right? It's not as simple as winning these. You got to be one of the top two teams. So you're a team captain. When the team talks through goals, like what do those conversations sound like?
To be quite honest, I've said this to everybody here today, and I say it, you know, confidently and proudly. I want to win the championship. You know, we're not working as hard as we're working to go to a bowl game or to maybe get a bowl game win. That's not the goal. The goal is to win the championship by all means. The goal is to wake up in about 8 months from now, and like, hey, with a ring on our finger kind of thing, you know? And so it's one of those things that's how the conversations are going. What are we doing? Is that helping us, you know, win the championship? And so everything we've been doing is. And so that's the plan. Those are the conversations, and it's nothing less of that.
Did you grow up a Gamecock fan or a Clemson fan?
Okay, so when I moved,
oh, here we go. All right, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
So originally I was born in Maryland, and so when I moved here to South Carolina in seventh grade, I didn't like have a choice really. I really didn't have a choice. Like I stood in that middle ground. Like, I'm not going to choose. I'm not going to choose. But South Carolina was the first college football game I'd ever been to. And so that was in like seventh grade, I'm pretty sure. And so then I started going to more games, and it was right 30 minutes away from my house. My high school was 10 minutes away. It was kind of hard to not be a fan, you know? And so it was kind of hard to not choose South Carolina. And I'm glad I did, you know, looking at it today.
Do you like day games or night games better?
Day games.
Why?
Well, one, because I feel like growing up, because in high school football, it's Friday night. Right. You know, you have those night games. But growing up, when you started football, those Pee-wee Little League games, those was on Saturdays in the morning, kind of during the day. In a fall football game during the day, just that feeling, that smell of football, like that, it's hard to beat. And so also, you know, you have a big win during the day. You know, you still got a little time left to see the city.
I go celebrate a little
Yes,
at night. I hear you. Alex Huntley's our guest. I asked you that because, of course, LSU goes to Columbia. It's a day. It's 11 a.m. Central, noon Eastern time. Is that one? I'm curious because LSU and South Carolina don't play all the time. I'm trying to think. I don't guess you would have played LSU yet in your career.
I haven't
as a redshirt senior. So, like, is that one that you maybe circle on the schedule just because LSU's had success and because it's sort of a new thing?
Yeah, I don't know if I'd say I'd circle it, but it is definitely something that it pops out. You know, it's you look at the whole schedule and you're just like, whoa, LSU. Like, I haven't seen that my whole career here.
Yeah.
Now, it's been my 5th year, so it's definitely something I'm excited about. You know, just another team. I haven't played a team with great history, great players, and so that's something I've been telling a lot of people here is that if you want to be the best, you have to be the best, and LSU is always talked about with high regard. So I'm excited.
Before you go, what's up with the cowboy hat?
Yeah, this was in the little SEC creative media section over there. They got the logo on the back.
They gave y'all a hat?
Yeah.
They gave everybody a hat?
Yeah. Custom to I picked this out.
Can you show that real quick?
Yeah.
Look, there's the camera.
Okay.
Look at that.
So here's the camera. We start like
AH. They burned your
the
initials. Yeah, or branded. Thank you.
No, all good. Brand the Gamecock logo in the back.
Yeah.
I had the black hat. I have 2 cowboy hats. I don't have a black one. I do now. So I got the little feather. And I got a little black Joker, a burned Joker card.
Was that in there, or did you add that?
No, I added that.
So you could add whatever you want.
Yeah.
Where is this going on?
This is going on upstairs in one of the rooms.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it appropriate for me to ask if I can wear it for a second?
Yeah, go ahead.
Are you sure?
Go
Okay.
ahead.
All right. I want to. I mean, it's radio. So
No, go ahead. I love it. Yep, just like this. No, the logo's the back. Yep, there you go.
I feel like
that looks good.
I feel like I feel like I've been knighted.
Yeah, I don't know if I could take that back anymore. Probably be yours.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I mean, I'll keep it. Don't tell me what a good time
Nah,
here,
yeah.
man. Look at that.
Looks
How
good.
about that? And I do like the Gamecock logo too.
Right.
I will hand it back to you though.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
I mean, unless you do want to give it to me, because I could sit here on Radio Row with a bald head all week, or I could wear that, which would actually be pretty fire.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I just go talk to them. I bet they'll get you
I
right.
think they'll hook you up. I don't think they're gonna hook me up.
Yeah.
You love Sandstorm. You love the
my
open,
gosh,
the intro.
Yeah, I think it's the best in the nation. That's one of the reasons why I committed there. You know, that atmosphere of Williams-Brice is something that I fell in love with early.
What if Darude had never written Sandstorm?
Oh,
what would I be doing, man?
That's a great question. That's actually a great question.
I don't know what they do for 100 years before.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I have no clue. I don't know if there's anything else that would fit like Sandstorm does.
Yeah, man.
It's perfect.
Last thing for you. What's it like playing for Shane Beamer?
Oh, it's great. You know, a lot of people focus on his energy, his enthusiasm, but his hunger, that's what I love. He wants it. He loves to coach us. He loves to be a coach, and he loves to win. You know, he's super competitive, super hungry. He wants championships. And as a player who doesn't have any championships, who wants more wins, I love that. You know, he's not somebody who's content with anything at all. He's never content. So I love Coach Beamer, and I love what he's doing for the team. You know, so it's real easy to be a player under him.
LSU's going to get a little taste of Sandstorm coming up here just in a couple of months there, early September when the Tigers visit Columbia. Williams-Brice is always a vibe,
Yes,
man.
sir.
I've been in that stadium many times. It doesn't matter if the team's good or bad, man. They pack it out,
Oh,
and it's
yeah.
loud. It's going to be one heck of an environment there to start the season.
100%.
Alex Huntley, senior defensive tackle. Appreciate the time, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Brought to you by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com, lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Gentlemen, if you're thinking of popping the question, roughly, I heard this over the weekend, there's roughly like 2.2 million people in the U.S., couples, that get engaged annually. It's an interesting number. Wouldn't you think it'd be higher than that? It was an interview with the person who started the knot. That's how I heard that. Isn't that weird? Isn't that weird?
That's very weird.
Thank you.
Why did you
I
do
was
that?
listening to an interview. I like business content, and the person who started the knot was doing an interview. And wouldn't you think the number would be higher?
I was thinking it was really high.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna. I was thinking it
2.2
was.
million
That's a really high number.
You think that's high?
Yeah.
You think 2.2 is high?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it'd be way lower than that. No, I'm sorry. I thought it would be way higher than 2.2. I think 2.2 feels low. In a country,
Maybe I don't know how many people live here.
400 million people live in the U.S. That's how that feels. Anyway, the bottom line is, if you are thinking of getting engaged, do what Louisianians and Baton Rougeans have done for, almost 40 years now. Go to Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. And if you've been married for a minute or two, remember, a lot of times when you get engaged, like, maybe you're not at the point in your life career where you're ready to buy that big old beautiful diamond. But now, 10th wedding anniversary, 20th wedding anniversary, you could exchange that old diamond maybe for something a little bit of an upgrade. Lee Michaels can help you do it. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, 9 locations in all, online at lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Appreciate Alex Huntley for a couple of minutes there. If you are listening, not watching, and you would like to see me wearing Alex Huntley's cowboy hat, you can go to Rivers Huey's Instagram story, or my Instagram story where I've shared it. Where else are we going to put that video?
I mean, wherever we want.
Can we put that on the ESPN Twitter?
It lives forever. We can.
Okay, let's put that on the ESPN Twitter and the ESPN Facebook as well.
You were crowned.
He knighted me.
He knighted you.
He knighted me with his cowboy hat. But isn't that one of the cool things? Like, people ask me all the time, and Rivers is here with us producing on site this week. One of the things I love most about this, maybe the thing I love the most about this event, and it's not my favorite thing to do.
It's not.
Not that I don't love talking football. It's just, it's a lot.
It's a lot. You are a very structured person.
Yes.
And this requires a lot of flexibility.
Yes. And I am rigid when it comes to the show.
Yes.
But one of the things I love the most is you get to talk to players in sort of a disarming way that otherwise you maybe would. Like, I would. When will I ever have an opportunity ever to talk to Alex Huntley again? You know what I mean?
Right.
And he knighted me with a
when
hat.
Will you ever be able to interact with Alex Huntley where he puts a cowboy hat on your head?
That is the thing that I love, that I do love the most about SEC Media Days, to get to talk to guys like that, introduce a player like that to our audience. And so when LSU plays South Carolina in Columbia here in week 3, and if Alex Huntley makes a play, you're going to, that's the dude that put the hat on Moscona's head, whatever, and there'll be that sort of connection. So those are the things I love about
it's very disarming here.
Yes.
You know, it's easy to sit down and talk. I mean, when Brian Kelly earlier was on off the bench, they're talking about his tan for a couple minutes. You know, it's just like, when are you going to do that?
What did he say?
Or he was just talking about going to the lake, and he was looking tan. They talked about his suit. Like, it's just a very casual conversation that you would never have otherwise.
I know. No doubt.
You know?
No doubt. I do love coming here. So, all right, it is day 1 here at Radio Row, SEC Football Media Days. Our coverage all week presented by Parish Construction and Roofing. Visit parishbuilt.com. Rev Business and Relief Windows. Relief Windows, incidentally, our Monday show sponsor all throughout the years. Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com. Let me knock out a quick break. While all of this is happening here at Radio Row SEC Football Media Days, so too is the Major League Baseball Draft happening. Let me take a quick minute to wrap up this hour with a little bit of a thumbnail to catch you up on what's happened with the MLB Draft. And by the way, I know this is like we're here just for SEC Football Media Days. We do have William Schmidt to start hour 3. So the gigantic news, if you missed it on Sunday, is William Schmidt, the number 1 right-handed pitcher in the country, decided to forego the draft. He will come to LSU. It's kind of sent shockwaves through the draft as just hours before the draft was set to begin. We will have William Schmidt here to start hour 3. So we'll very much look forward to that. Okay, we'll knock out a quick break and continue. We'll wrap up hour number 1 here from Radio Row at SEC Football Media Days.
AFR.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. If you've been injured in an accident and it's not your fault, you know what to do. Do what injured people in our state have done for more than 30 years. Go to getgordon.com, getgordon.com, or call 888-8888. Gordon's got a team of attorneys all over the state, so no matter where you live, no matter what city, what market you're in, Gordon McKernan and his team can represent you and get you what you deserve to get on with your life. So go to getgordon.com or call 888-8888, 888-8888. Of course, we always talk about members of the G team. One of those members of the G team, actually 2 of them were here. Actually, is Nuss a G team? I need to see if Nuss is. I don't know if Nuss is, but I know Perkins and Mason Taylor, both members of the G team. And we are as well, and thrilled to be. Gordon's done amazing work through NIL and a lot of partnerships, giving opportunities to young student athletes and, of course, helping injured people in our state recoup what they deserve. So if you're in that boat, you know what to do. GetGordon.com, getgordon.com, get Gordon, and get it done.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $20,000 off new 23 Ram 1500 trucks. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $20,000 off the powerful Ram truck. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is
After further review, presented by Relief Windows. Windows, doors, siding. Oh yeah, they also do interior shutters.
Oh, we roll along here. Radio Row SEC Football Media Days, our coverage all week presented by Parish Construction and Roofing, also brought to you by Rev Business and Relief Windows. Let me take a quick minute here. While I know we're at SEC Football Media Days, I do want to update what's going on with the Major League Baseball draft while we have a few minutes. I'll tell you, Cole Cubelic's coming up in 10 minutes from right now. Our interview with Mason Taylor also coming up next hour. Peter Burns of the SEC Network will be here next hour. And William Schmidt of Calic High and now LSU will be here to start hour number 3. Our chat with Harold Perkins in hour 3. Again, we are locked, loaded. We got a ton to do today. But the big news, of course, on Sunday late afternoon was that William Schmidt was foregoing the Major League Baseball draft. It's hard to qualify just how big that is. Effectively, everything else that happens in the draft is inconsequential. And I don't mean to be dismissive or to overstate what's going on with William Schmidt, but understanding we know that Holman and Hurd and Jump and Ulloa, Tommy White, all these guys are going to be drafted. And we know that Cam Kemenity and Boston Bateman and Connor Griffin, that these guys were never coming to school. Like, there are things you go into the draft knowing. So you look at those 50-50 guys and say, what are the possibility of getting as many of those guys as you can to campus? Well, when you get William Schmidt, who was the #1 high school right-handed pitcher in the country, to forego millions of dollars and come to campus, that is just a major win. That it's where the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. You could get 5 other things go your way, but it's not going to matter as much as that one really, really big thing, because you have this major boom potential. That's like Friday night SEC ace potential that you have now for the next 3 years, and you know it. So we will talk to William Schmidt coming up here in about an hour and 7 minutes about his decision. Everything else that transpired, I think, probably went about the way that we thought it would. There were maybe some people surprised that Tommy White slipped into round 2, but everything we heard was late round 1, early round 2, and he ended up being after the competitive balance rounds, the sandwich picks, he ended up being the first pick of round 2, number 40 overall. So his numbers just over $2 million that he'll get as the 40th overall pick. Both Luke Holman at 71 and Gage Jump at 73 are kind of about where we thought, round 2 guys. And they went right there at the end of the competitive balance in round 2. Maybe the other really significant news, losing the high school guys that we talked about that you knew you were going to lose, is getting Cade Arambidi to campus. So we've talked about him plenty. If you're not familiar, Cade Arambidi is a guy that is from the Houston area. He's a catcher, big-time power, really good defensive catcher as well. And coming into his senior year, Arambidi was thought to be a first-round draft pick. Well, he struggled with the bat his senior year and slipped into what many thought would be like around 4 or 5 type guy. And when you got through the first day, yesterday, and the first 2 rounds passed, and you got through 76 picks, Arambidi said, all right, I'm going to school. And that is a major win for Jay Johnson. Now we're going to wait the rest of today and see what happens with guys like Blaze Priester. If his name doesn't get called as of this moment. Griffin Herring was drafted by the Yankees, so Griffin Herring's done after 2 years at LSU. We still have not heard Bear Jones's name. And if we get through today without hearing Jared Jones's name called, he's coming back to campus. And boy, to add those 28 homers in the middle of this lineup is so significant. I do think there's a counter effect that's going to happen with William Schmidt coming to campus and the possibility of Jared Jones returning, which means somebody among the transfer portal class will likely either sign a pro contract or ask for a release to go somewhere else, and understandably so, but you cross that bridge when you get there. But for Jay Johnson, major wins so far, getting William Schmidt and Cade Arambidi to campus to join Derek Curiel, who is another top 10 prospect nationally, the outfielder from California. So, I mean, you got 3 of Baseball America's top 20 prospects in America showing up to campus. That's just a major win for Jay Johnson here in the early part of this draft. Okay, let's put a button here on hour number 1. We'll grab a break. SportsCenter gets you caught up on national headlines. We're at Radio Row from SEC Football Media Days. When we return, our buddy Cole Cubelic of the SEC Network will be here. We're looking forward to that conversation to get Cole's recap of day 1 and look ahead to the rest of the weekend here from Radio Row at SEC Football Media Days.
AFR.
Hey, look, we saw last week with Hurricane Beryl that was bearing down on the Gulf and obviously ended up hitting Houston. And it's a reminder for so many, with it being storm season, the importance of a Generac automatic home standby generator and being prepared. Our friends at Optimize can help you do that. GeneratorPeople.com is the website. It's easy. It's 2 words. GeneratorPeople.com, GeneratorPeople.com. Optimize is our state's #1 Generac dealer. Listen, a generator is a commodity. A lot of people sell the same product. So how do you decide who to call? Well, how about the people that literally all they do is sell, service, and install Generac automatic home standby generators? That's what Optimize does, and they do it all across the 1012 corridor. So from Lake Charles to Slidell and everywhere in between, it's Optimize. GeneratorPeople.com. That's GeneratorPeople.com.
Bayou Ford has $10,000 off F-150. $10,000 off the new 2024 Ford F-150. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Farming is a way of life for us. It's not something we get up in the morning and dread going do. It's just something we go to bed at night looking forward to getting up to go do. John Deere equipment is what we as farmers strive to have. So it's in your blood, it's in your veins. It's just a part of who you are. Green is what we want to be in. The other tractors were acquired to patch it up to get to where you want to be. Where we want to be is in John Deere. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. In its second exhibition game ahead of the Summer Olympics, Team USA beat Australia today 98-92. The Americans looked better on offense, but they did give up 68 points in the paint. The future of the SEC, a topic Commissioner Greg Sankey was asked about multiple times as the conference's media days got underway. Despite speculation, Clemson and Florida State could land in the SEC if they leave the ACC. Expansion is not on Sankey's mind.
From 14 deep to 16 strong. 16 is our today, and 16 is our tomorrow. We know who we are. In the Southeastern Conference, we're the one conference at this level where the name still means something. The southeastern part of the United States, where when we expanded, we actually restored historic rivalries.
SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey, the SEC is at 16 after adding Texas and Oklahoma. Home Run Derby is baseball spotlight. Tonight, 8 Eastern, ESPN Radio and ESPN. Baltimore's Corbin Burns starts for the AL in tomorrow night's All-Star game against Pittsburgh phenom Paul Skeens.
Hey, it's Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike. If you missed any of this week's shows, make sure to check out the Unsportsmanlike podcast on the ESPN app or wherever you get your podcast. And be sure to tune in every weekday at 6 a.m. Eastern. It's Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
That's right.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt Moscona. Live Day 1 Radio Row SEC Football Media Days. Our coverage all week presented by Parrish Construction and Roofing, and also brought to you by Rev Business and Relief Windows. Cole Cubelic, good enough to join us now here from Radio Row. Just polished off an oatmeal. Was that oatmeal raisin or just oatmeal?
Oatmeal raisin, and it was legit. I'm just going to let you know right now. If you have an opportunity to grab one of those, do it. I didn't need a cookie. I haven't had much to eat today, but it was worth it. I'll get on the Stairmaster later or something. I'll figure it out.
How do you feel if I were to tell you that I'm not really an oatmeal raisin guy? I'm just going to pass on that altogether.
Doesn't surprise me.
Why?
Just because you seem like very much a go against the grain, like my way or the highway, I'll show you, which would make you kind of like, I don't know, like some double dark chocolate chip cookie guy or something weird like that.
What if I told you I'm a sugar addict and I would eat pretty much anything with sugar in it? I just don't love oatmeal raisin.
That's fine.
That's really it. That's the extent.
Just because you have a 5-year-old's palate doesn't mean what I choose to do is wrong.
No, I didn't say you're wrong. And I don't have a 5-year-old's palate. It's just weird. Oatmeal raisin never really did it for me.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It was great.
Did you talk to Brian Kelly today?
Rivers agrees with me. It was also great. I did not. We should probably stay away from that.
Why?
But
why?
I just didn't get a chance to visit with him.
Oh, that's okay. What is your overall feeling about year 3 with BK in the 12-team playoff era?
I think it's going to be hard to win a national championship without Greg Stringfellow. I'm going to say that.
I love it. So good.
I mean, I'm just going to say, like, how are you going to win a title without that guy in the building?
I hope he's listening. By the way, LSU's long-time equipment manager.
How many titles do they have with him in the building?
All of them.
So,
post 1958, I should say.
That he was alive for.
Yeah, right.
He was probably born in 48, but that's okay.
Oof. That's tough. That's tough.
Yeah, I mean, I think without String in there, it's going to be tough to win a title. But BK's great, man. I don't understand what the holdup is, why people second guess him, and it's not just LSU fans; it's a lot of people. And I guess I should get it from a certain extent because my perception of him was absolutely not what it is now that I've had a chance to sit down, talk to him, be around him.
Ooh, interesting.
He felt very abrasive. He felt very unapproachable, and had a chance to sit down with him on multiple occasions now, talk football. Very relatable, very approachable, very real, very normal, and about as buttoned up as any other coach in the league. When you talk about just organized, together, get it, understanding, all of that. So, listen, all these coaches have different challenges, man. Like, none of them are on easy street, not even Kirby Smart. And there's a lot of good teams, there's a lot of good players, and we've seen how quickly certain things can go wrong that lead to 2 or 3 losses or a couple extra wins. It's a fine line in this league, man. It's like what Venable said about Auburn when he was talking to Chris Lowe for that article that he did on Texas and Oklahoma. Go back and look at that season last year. You look at their record, people are going to say that wasn't a good football team. But then when you watch the film against Georgia and Alabama, you're like, damn, that's a pretty good football team.
Yeah.
And then they lose to New Mexico State, which they were also a pretty good football team. So, like I said, fine line. I think Brian Kelly's fantastic. Why are we offline? I sat here so people could see my face.
Oh, no, we're there.
I need to build my image in the greater Baton Rouge area, and the fact that we're not doing that right now is disappointing.
We are. It's that the Wi-Fi in this building isn't good, so this is just
that why Chuck Dunlap has sent 17 messages about how to get on the Wi-Fi today?
We're on the Wi-Fi. It's just not very good here, probably because there's so many people pulling from it. But we're streaming
from this thing.
Do you want
the password to the secret Wi-Fi?
I would love that if you have it. That would be wonderful.
I'll try to pass that to you.
No, if you have it, that would actually be amazing. So, no, but we're on a live shot right there. So we're good. Like, everybody's seeing you right now on the Watch 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. So get there, subscribe, and if you're there, please smash the like button. If you like Cole Cubelic, smash the like button. How about that?
And then go to Cube Show on YouTube and smash subscribe on that one also.
You should.
But there's not many people that like me, so that's not going to happen.
That's not true. So Cube Show, you do mornings on Jocks. Everybody knows your stuff from the SEC Network as well. What do you like doing the most?
Hanging out with my kids.
Okay, absolutely. What do you, professionally, which job do you like doing the most? Like, if you could do one of them and say, like, you could only do this thing and make $1 bajillion and have whatever schedule you want.
It's not that I like one more than the other, but there's only one being at a game. Like, there's only one walking out of that tunnel in Death Valley and just feeling it. All that it is.
Hey, look at this. Alabama and Auburn love.
What's up?
Do we have another headset? Roman can jump aboard with us right now. Who dat, by the way?
It's fine. I gotta go do Paul Feinbaum in a second.
Okay.
Here, Roman Harper and Cole Cubelic are going to talk.
Feinbaum in a second.
Here, you talk to him for a minute. That's way better than me.
I got to do Paul Feinbaum in a second.
What do we got going on tonight? You got a plan?
We do got a plan. I think we got dinner with a couple different groups of guys. I'm about to go. I got a tea time at 5 though, so
you're starting golf at 5?
Yeah, starting at 5.
Well, I actually meant like post 10:30 p.m.
Oh, you know me. Yeah, I'm more of a night owl.
It is Dallas
type guy. Yes, and I do have a little bit of things. I got some boys here in town, so I'm always living. You know.
You are always living.
Always
Nobody lives life more than Roman.
No.
Nobody.
That'd be boring.
It would
wants
be
to
boring.
do that?
It's just some people need more sleep than Roman needs.
That's true. I
am one of those
Yeah,
people.
I don't need a lot of sleep, dude. I sleep when I die. That's been my motto since college. Really haven't slowed down since then. And it's been good, bro. How's everything with you?
Everything's great.
Every time I see you got on this, what's it called?
Roback.
Roback. This is
I was informed that I get the knockoff Roback, but that's a story for another day. We'll talk about that later.
Isn't that big, though, when you make it big enough where you actually get knockoffs?
I'll take it.
When somebody's trying to, like, make knockoffs of you?
Free knockoffs are better than paid for originals.
I don't know about that.
Well, you made a lot more money than I did in your life.
I think that's a step I'm not willing to cross yet. I'm not ready to cross that line.
I'm with you on most of those things, specifically shoes.
Yes. You're definitely a shoe guy.
I didn't know we had a third headset. There we go.
It's all good.
Now we're in.
Roman, can you tell me all about winning the Super Bowl with the Saints? Because I'd rather talk about that than anything about Alabama.
Number one, it changed my life.
How about the old school McEnroes? You a fan?
I do like those. Oh, the new McEnroes, those are big. So I've gotten into tennis too. Love the socks.
Dead Soxy. They're really good brand.
I got Dead Soxy on too myself.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Nice. Are those new?
It's a promo. Cut the promo.
That's really good, man.
Something.
Oh, look, they got your chair.
How long do you have
the best.
How long do you have till Paul?
Scoot over this way. Give him some room.
So
it's
the
4:09.
the thing I got.
What time?
I got 2 more minutes
You
and
mean
I got here.
4:15?
Yeah, 4:15.
Okay.
And so the thing that winning the Super Bowl changed my life forever. Really kind of put you up in that upper echelon, and it's just been amazing. Like because every year that they don't win it again, it just makes your team just a little bit more special.
Yeah.
Not here to hate on anybody else, but it's been really, really cool. And then now that my son is able to understand what I was being a part of, I think that's what else I take pride in, is now just being involved with the NFL still and being able to look back and share those moments with my kids who were not born or not even thought of at the time.
Is it talking to other guys that won a championship in another city, or just maybe the further away you get from it, how much cooler it was winning one there?
Yeah.
Than like if you would have won the third one in New England,
Yes.
or like Kansas City winning a couple more.
It does make it so much better and sweeter because we are the only ones. And there's no better place to party or do a parade at than the city that is known for doing parades.
So
and it's kind of happens like right around Mardi Gras. So we shut down Mardi Gras for a day. We got to ride on all the floats that they already have for us. And I mean,
there weren't many people that didn't want you guys to do that.
No.
You had to probably be like a fan of a division rival or something like that. Like grew up a Falcons fan to like not want you guys to do
Yes.
it. Like I have had no care for the Saints ever, and I was like, get this done. Like I was like,
everybody
come
was kind of rooting for us just because of, the situation and, Hurricane Katrina just a few years before that. And then on top of that, man, it was, I'll be honest, like when you're getting the police to stop policing to go buy your alcohol to keep our parade going, it's like, dude, only New Orleans. It's like only New Orleans. Like, all right, you guys stop policing and go fill us up. It was perfect. And there's no better thing than that. What's up, Shock?
Oh, man.
What about playing defense in the dome?
Playing defense in the dome, it's I think that's what really helped me grow as a person when I talked to you about so much ball, because like you had to learn how to do hand signals where your eyes need to always be right because you can't talk. You can't talk.
That's so true.
And so you have to learn other ways to communicate.
Right.
And so there is no excuse of I didn't get the call, I didn't get to play. Like you can't have any excuses. So that's why I'm really hard on those little things, those little details all the time, because you got to be able to play in front of 80,000 screaming, yelling fans when the offense is out there. You can't hear the person beside you. And we all still got to be on the same page. And
Did you make some noise out there today? What'd you pick? Did you make somebody mad?
I kind of picked apart Jordan's quarterback thing, but I actually thought he was decent. I said it wasn't
told
bad.
me the list last night. And I was
What
like,
was his list for our audience?
Top 8 quarterbacks in the SEC. He had Nussmeier at 8. Then he had 8. Then he had the other guy. Brady Cook was at like 5. Oh, he had Graham Mertz.
Mertz was in there.
Mertz was 7.
He hates everything Florida this year. So
Mertz was 7. I'm just not impressed.
He had Connor Wigman way up there.
He did. He had Connor Wegman at 5, which I think he should be down because everything he let off before he talked about Connor Wegman was if he's healthy.
Wasn't his 2 questionable? It was Beck and then somebody kind of.
Ewers was 3rd. I'm not mad at that, but I just think the offense for Ewers kind of sets him up for everything to be successful. I want him to continue to develop as a quarterback and being able to drop back.
He didn't have Dart second,
go through.
right?
He had Dart second.
Dart was second, okay.
Dart was
Behind
second.
Beck, and Ewers 3rd?
Yep. And I'm not mad at that list.
I'm fine with that. Dart's a gamer, man. Everybody thinks he's system quarterback.
And he's way more athletic than people give him credit for.
All right. So Beck, Dart, Ewers, Milroe, Wegman, Cook.
All right.
Mertz, Nussmeier.
I got to go jump on.
All right, go get
Von
it.
Bob's calling me.
Who dat?
Who dat, baby? Y'all be good.
I love it. I love it.
The best.
I love it. How good was that?
Hopefully we'll get an announcement this week.
How good was that? Was that which one is yours? I don't know. Which one was
sure.
that?
Check 1, 2, 3, 4 there.
No, you're good. I don't know. That was that. That was that one. Okay. I just messing with all that. So Rome. That's one of the things I do love about this. I mean, Roman Harper could. You and I are talking. Roman just walks by, jumps on, grabs a headset, and then all of a sudden the whole thing's derailed. But where else do you get that?
Not many places.
I know,
I think a lot of it is this league. Obviously, the network brings a lot of us together. Roman and I do a show on Monday nights. Another guy kind of similar to BK that I just wasn't really sure what I was going to think about him, what he was going to be like. I don't know what people's perception of Roman Harper is, but one of the nicest human beings you'll ever meet. Like literally one of the best, like most stand-up guy, just awesome guy to be around, fun guy to be around. I love working with him. I just love hanging out with him.
There's a weird juxtaposition for our audience with Roman because he's a Bama guy, but he was part of the Super Bowl team for the Saints. And there's so much.
And then went to the Panthers, right?
Yes, but then came back to the Saints. Okay. So I think even Roman would tell, just listen to what he just talked about. Like he doesn't really affiliate himself with the Panthers. It was just a point in the career where do you go?
If you're gonna root for an NFL team, you kind of have to let the college thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost like now even rooting for your college team, you almost have to let it go. Like Texas is getting a kid that made maybe a top 3 individual play in Alabama football history. He's going to play for them this year.
Yeah.
I mean, think about that.
Yeah. I mean, Totally. I think that's a weird.
I mean, Georgia is going to hand the ball off in the world's largest outdoor cocktail party to a running back who almost led them in rushing the last 2 years against Florida.
Yeah.
Like,
who's
what?
from Jennings, Louisiana, too, by the way.
Well, that game we could play for a lot of guys.
No doubt. But there are.
I just think you have to kind of just, as sports fans, we almost have to just be happy with what we have now and just kind of go, because you're going to be able to find something that you can be mad about it all you want. Just take what you got now, hope it's good, and here we go.
Cole Cubelic.
We're going to skip the supper club?
No, I'm going to do it right now. I was just deleting it so that I know that I've done it. Have you been yet? Yeah, that's Brandon Landry's spot, his new spot. Have you been?
Oh, I got a lifetime ban from the supper club.
Why?
In Auburn.
Not in Auburn, in Baton Rouge.
You've heard about the supper club in Auburn,
No.
though, right? Oh,
No.
it's like famous late night spot.
It's a famous night spot?
Since been demolished.
Oh.
But it was literally like painted cinder blocks, and there was a bus out back that was like a shot bus, and you would go out there.
This is not that.
Yeah.
So this is.
But it's like Herb Street and we used to go, and like it's like if you partied in Auburn, 80s, 90s, early mid 2000s, like you went to supper club late night.
Okay, this is not that.
If the bathroom was busy, and you didn't want to wait in line, and you maybe went to the restroom behind the centipede machine, you are not allowed to ever go back.
What's a centipede machine?
What?
What do you mean, what?
Like a video game, Centipede. The video game Centipede.
I haven't played a video game since Super Nintendo in like 91. I don't
Matt,
know.
But this is like the old box
the arcade style?
game. Yeah, this is like
I
one of the OG
I did Pac-Man,
games.
Street Fighter back in the day.
Centipede had the ball before the golf game had the ball.
Golden Tee. Maybe if I saw it, I'd know it. I'm sorry. I don't mean to disappoint you. I
No,
work a
you're fine.
lot.
Listen,
I work. I live with my family. I don't.
I'm not
do
mad at
video
you. It's all
games.
good.
I'm not mad at you either. But Supper Club. Next time you're in Baton Rouge, we'll have to go.
Okay.
Amazing dining experience. Was there 2 Saturdays ago for my birthday. Would highly recommend if you're celebrating something, a birthday, an anniversary, or just want a night out. SupperClubBTR.com. SupperClubBTR.com for reservations. They're closed Sunday, Monday, so they'll reopen tomorrow on Tuesday. Get your reservations. Look, football season will be here before you know it. Celebrate Tiger wins or get ready on Friday night before every big game day over at Supper Club. SupperClubBTR.com. Next time you're in town,
They
you'll have
won't
to come.
ban you for life either.
Well, I don't know that I would say. I mean, there's probably something you could do
Well,
that
they don't
would.
have Centipede, so it's all good.
They
It's
don't
all
have
good.
Centipede. They do have amazing, like, Japanese Wagyu beef, A5.
Okay.
They got, oh, God, it's amazing.
We're going to go. We're going to go.
All right, my treat.
Okay.
Cole Cubelic,
We're
SEC
done?
Network, Jocks. Unless you want to break and do
What
another
is
segment.
River City?
River City is HVAC company. River City's one hour
Oh,
air.
sorry. Those are your reads. I thought
These are my live reads.
I thought these were your segment names.
No, I have live reads in every segment, and then here is the rundown.
I was thinking it was like your top 5 or something.
No, look, so I've got next I was going to play the Mason Taylor interview. They got Peter Burns coming at 4:30, so I was going to break.
Nobody wants to hear Peter Burns.
Do you want to stay?
First and foremost, so you can move Mason Taylor to Peter Burns' spot.
Do you?
Well,
what do you have?
I can stay till 4:30. I'm going to get a call at 4:30 to do ESPN Radio.
Okay. Quick break, and then Cole is back with us for another segment. We might talk about football, but actually probably not. So we'll do whatever Cole wants to talk about. Maybe more like oatmeal raisin cookies and stuff. We'll do that next. Stay here. It's AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.com. Rouse's.com. Rouse's, of course, get on by Rouse's. Check out the website, the app for their weekly ad if you're out shopping making groceries. It's easy, man. Get the Rouse's app, hit the weekly ad, see where all the discounts are over at Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints, with 70 locations from Lake Charles to Orange Beach, Alabama. Maybe you're heading home tonight on this Monday. You don't feel like cooking, just pop into Rouse's. They got something for dinner, grab and go for anyone in the family. Maybe you and the wife want sushi. Maybe the kids want chicken fingers. Maybe you want a pulled pork sandwich. They got delis. They got everything over there at Rouse's. So walk in, go to your left, you'll see it. And, of course, everything that you need for groceries or hanging out by the pool or barbecuing or whatever you're doing this summer. Heading on vacation, it's Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Find the location nearest you or pop in tonight at Rouse's. Rouse's.com. Rouse's. This feels like home.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Farming is a way of life for us. It's not something we get up in the morning and dread going do. It's just something we go to bed at night looking forward to getting up to go do. John Deere equipment is what we as farmers strive to have. It's in your blood, it's in your veins. It's just a part of who you are. Green is what we want to be in. The other tractors were acquired to patch it up to get to where you want to be. Where we want to be is in John Deere. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 7.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows, windows, doors, siding. Oh yeah, they also do interior shutters.
Okay, we will go Cubelic.
I mean, y'all put that voice guy to work.
Yeah, I know, right?
Your show, at least. I don't know the morning show. I don't listen to that show. But
did they do? They put it.
Yeah, for sure. You gotta have intros for stuff.
That guy costs money, and every time I come on with you, there's a different that guy intro for. Right now, Matt's movie review. It's all the voice guy. Like every one's a different one. We have like 2 generic ones for the whole day.
Well, we got a good program director that believes in imaging the station and making everything sound new and current and a lot of stuff like that.
But he puts you on every day.
That would be me, by the way.
Did you know that?
I had an idea.
It could be funny either way.
Do you want to check the billables for our station? I think he's making a good.
Is that you too?
I think he's making a good.
Are you the leading salesperson at the station?
Not sales, but talent. Yeah.
Wait, did you just anoint yourself as having the most talent of anyone at the station?
Not of the station, of the entire building, of all of the stations we have. Yes.
How many stations do you have that have
4
original talent and don't just play things out of your building? I'm going to need to see a list of those other people. Okay. I mean, tomorrow on First Take, ESPN Baton Rouge, top 3 most talented individuals.
You asked the question.
I'm going to put a damn poll out on Twitter right now. Who's more talented? T-Bob, Hester, Moscona, Rivs.
Twitter may not agree. That's fine.
Twitter's always right. Let's talk football. People are getting tired of this.
Not really.
Never.
You should see what Twitter says. Well, Alabama Twitter doesn't like me very much right now. Neither does Texas A&M Twitter, but I'm good with that.
What Twitter hates you the most right now?
Alabama.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you go out of your way to, I feel like, poke that bear.
It is a complete.
That's one that, like, you could walk right past in the parking lot, but, like, you lean over and pick up a rock and throw it at that car. I totally don't have to.
It is an epic troll opportunity, and every time they react, all it does is feed me to do it even more.
Okay.
I love doing it, too. It's so good. Okay, so then what do you
I thought you were going to ask me what Twitter hates me the most.
What Twitter hates you the most?
Ole Miss.
Why?
Oh, yeah.
Why?
They do hate you.
Still.
For the same thing?
Same thing.
Yeah, tell the story.
Yeah. Well, it's that Ole Miss-Arkansas game. We did the game from the field. People didn't like it. And some people said some things and thought I said those things. I didn't say those things. I've tried to prove that in court. Doesn't hold up.
What were those things?
Oh, just about things that may happen with a coach. It's not
just a little speculation.
Yeah, it's not important.
Wasn't there like a...
There was one person on that broadcast that actually said that Lane has done a great job, and look what he's done with their collective, look what he's done with recruiting, look what he's done in the portal. Why would he leave? Just delivered the first 10-win season ever. Someone on the broadcast said that, but...
I'm guessing that was you.
Why would...
Wasn't there a situation with like some Grove squirrels that you were involved in also?
Well, I own a Grove squirrel. Yes.
What is a Grove squirrel?
I bought one. Named it Cole Cubelic.
Oh, I remember that when they did that pro where you could buy the name of the, like naming a star.
Yep.
But you could buy
What a squirrel.
They can be as mad at me as they want, but they just need to know I am always in them.
I am always in them.
I'm always scurrying around that place.
That is
just looking for
I am inside of you.
a Cheeto that has been dropped. I'm sorry, they don't eat Cheetos. It's probably more like a
No, they might eat Cheetos. They probably eat Cheetos. They just put it on like crystal plates.
What are the little tiny square cakes that come in like the little ruffled
Pettifours?
Pettifour.
I'm gonna scroll looking for a drop Pettifour over there in the Grove.
That's perfect.
Yes.
Do you think they're a playoff team this year?
I think it's playoff or not bust, because I hate doing that. You can have a really, like, LSU season was really good last year, but people are never going to accept that.
Yeah.
Oklahoma, really good year last year. Never going to accept it. You can have a really good year and not win a championship or go to the playoff. I think they should be in the playoff, yes. With that runway and that schedule, here's the thing. Of all the, whether you want to go a really big Tier 2 or a small Tier 2 and a really big Tier 3 in the league, all of those teams have certain things you can pick apart, whether it's depth or just not very good at a certain spot, whatever. Like you and I talked about LSU's D tackles. Like that'd be the first place you would point to with LSU. And then you look at the offensive coordinator being gone. Still, even though Nuss has a chance to be great, receivers going to be good, you lost some all-timers. So it's going to be a little bit different. It's hard to pick holes in that Ole Miss roster. Like, just go through the position groups and tell me where you feel like they're deficient.
Where do you, if there is one, what is it?
I'm still not really sure that the offensive line is going to be great, but they don't operate in the means that you have to have an offensive line that's dominant, that just pushes you back, that makes you do things against your will. That's not. I think they would like to be that at times, and I think Nate Kalepo, the kid they got from Washington, is going to be very. They hadn't had a kid like him since Nick Broker. He's going to be really good, and that group will be better. The defensive line looks different than it's ever been. They've had a Kim Dichie before or a Benito Jones, but they've never had 3 or 4 guys like that. And then they get Princely Umalayan from Florida, who has real twitch off the edge. They haven't had a guy like him since Marquise Haynes when, early Freeze years. So they're just – that roster has legit maybe corner a little bit, corner like a smidge. But, I'm not leaving for Peter Burns, by the way.
I don't want you to leave. So Peter's supposed to be on with us in 2 minutes, the same time your phone rings.
Quarterback, big time. Tight end, big time. Receiver, big time. Running back, deep. Edge, D tackle, very good. Linebacker, better. This Chris Paul kid they got from Arkansas can play. He's a really good player. And when you've had the conversations with Lane like I have about the effect that Pete Golding's having on him as far as coaching a game instead of coaching to score 60 points, it's really interesting to think about that, like, he could be developing as a coach. Yeah, that's them. We'll give it one more ring.
Do you have 90 seconds?
Yeah, sure. I can call back.
Okay, so I'll go in your wheelhouse with Auburn. I thought Auburn would be better last year with Hugh. I thought they would beat someone they shouldn't beat and probably peak late in the year. How much of a jump do they make this year? It feels quiet.
I think they will make a jump because that receiver room is totally different. There is good football inside Peyton Thorne. He doesn't have to be Joe Burrow for them to be a good football team. The middle of the offensive line is going to be good. Connor Lew's a stud at center. They finally get Jeremiah Wright going at right guard. Dylan Wade bumps down to guard. Middle's going to be fine. A little worried about tackle. You got a really reliable tight end that you can use in some intermediate stuff. They flipped that receiver room. Matt, I'm talking there's 5, maybe 6 guys on the roster now that were better than anybody they had last year.
Okay.
It's totally different. And
Who's
those,
the freshman
those
they're all
receivers,
pumping
Cam
up?
Coleman.
Coleman, yeah.
And there's a Perry Thompson kid that's pretty good too, but they couldn't separate. They could not separate. And then think about a quarterback having to fit a ball into a tight window. Like, you're not going to look good. We should probably give Peyton Thorne credit for not throwing more picks because everyone he threw to was covered. And then when they did get open, they dropped about 20% of them. So if that room is that different, no one here is talking about Jarquez Hunter. Nobody has asked me about Jarquez Hunter.
So good.
That's a you problem, and that's your fault for not doing that. He's the most proven back in the league.
I got to see him as a freshman at Tiger Stadium.
He's really good. So if they can run the ball and take some pressure off that way, they
SEC Network, the Cube Show on YouTube. Go subscribe if you haven't done so yet. We'll knock out a quick break, and Peter Burns of the SEC Network will be with us, and then we'll get to our chat with Mason Taylor, LSU tight end. We're so glad you're with us here from Radio Row SEC Football Media Days. Our coverage presented by Paris Construction and Roofing, also brought to you by Rev Business and Relief Windows. We'll continue with Peter Burns next.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com. Hey, y'all, look, the heat is oppressive. We know that. 100-degree temps, triple digits. If your AC's not keeping up, you may have an issue. Call our friends at River City's 1 Hour Air. Look for the big yellow vans and trucks with the giant clock on the side. One of the things that I love most about River City's 1 Hour Air is, especially when you talk about really big companies, sometimes when you call, you get an answering service. At River City's 1 Hour Air, that's never the case. You can call weekends, nights, holidays. You're always going to get a human being speaking to you. And there's something reassuring about that. And, of course, when they come to your home, they're going to do exceptional work. It's River City's 1 Hour Air. They've been doing it in Baton Rouge for 40 years. 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com. Spell it out, O-N-E, 1hourbr.com, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows, windows, doors, siding. Oh yeah, they also do interior shutters.
Peter Burns, SEC Network, good enough to join us here. How are you, dude?
Weird. I'm in a weird mood because I just had an opportunity to interview Trey Harris, stud wide receiver for Ole Miss.
How was that?
He was great. Dapped up. I mean, he looked
right.
good. Right?
We were trying to get Trey, and it's just the timing didn't work.
And so we get in, and he was fantastic. And then right after that, we roll into Jackson Dart. We're talking about him and Lane Kiffin and how they're like Bloods and Crips when it comes to like pickleball. Like there's like a huge pickleball thing going there. And these are the kind of just how many football questions can you ask these guys that haven't been asked before? And so I talked to Jackson. Jackson couldn't have been any nicer. Obviously, big season over the last couple of years. And then a buddy texted me, and he goes, hey, what do you got next? And I said, well, I'm going to Moscona show here in a little bit, but I got like 15 minutes. And he just sends me a picture, the NCAA football video game. He's got it upstairs. Boom, go to the 19th floor, get up there, knock on the door. He's like, I got it set up. He's an Ole Miss guy. Ole Miss guy. And I was like, this is so weird. And I'm going to be LSU. I just showed you the video. So truth be told, it is a video of me intercepting Jackson Dart, then stiff-arming Jackson Dart, and the celebration there in Vaughn Hemingway. And I'm so like, how weird is that I just interviewed this kid, and now I feel bad that I just intercepted him and stiff-armed him and scored a touchdown.
You didn't. Greg Penn did.
That is true. Factually true. My little digital Greg Penn.
Digital Greg Penn came up with the pick six, which I would love to see.
By the way, two interceptions early right there for Blake Baker's defense on the road at Ole Miss. That was very impressive. So it vets well.
Jackson Dart doesn't protect the football. I think that plays. I think that actually – but the game, of course, this year is in Baton Rouge. Do you feel – I think that's like for LSU – I think that's the most important game on the schedule. Maybe not the biggest, but if LSU's 5-0 when they play Ole Miss and they get that win to start 6-0, then I think worst case scenario in the second half is 4-2, you're 10-2, and you're in the playoff.
Yeah, I mean, you can look at it a couple of different ways. I did not expect us to actually talk football, so I wasn't ready for that. What's going on?
You don't have to answer that. I would rather talk about your Disney cruise.
No, we'll talk about that in a little bit. I would say the issue that I have is I think the whole season, as stupid as it sounds, and I say a lot of stupid things, is based on the opener, in which BK has not been able to get the teams ready over the last two seasons. Now, FSU was an incredible squad. Now that we know, with Jordan Travis and all those draft picks, they were great before Travis got banged up. But the year prior,
I have those.
Those are nice shoes. Thank you.
Court Vision Highs. I literally have that exact pair of shoes.
The last 2 years, and really for a while.
I almost brought them because I have a shirt that's like literally this color scheme that I have upstairs, but I left it and decided to go a different shoe.
Matt, I'm the squirrel here. Please don't squirrel. You can't out-squirrel the squirrel. Like, I know there's shiny objects here, but I'm as ADD as possible, and you can't out-ADD me. So I'm really trying to grind here. So what we were talking about? No, I'm just joking.
I don't even remember.
No, but the USC game for me
USC.
Is I can't find 3 losses on LSU's schedule if they do get by Lincoln Riley and USC to start with. Like, I can see 2, right? I can see maybe it is Ole Miss. Maybe it ends up being Alabama. Maybe it ends up being someone else. I can see 2 losses. I can't see 3, as talented this team is, if they're able to get by USC, which, again, we talked about it on our show this morning. The top 2, the teams that are in Atlanta for the SEC championship, pencil them in. They're already into the college football playoff. The team that's not, the closest to being in the college football or Atlanta that doesn't make it, is penciled in as well. I mean, I don't know how you're going to have a world in which you're not going to have at least 3 SEC squads in.
Agreed.
And that's why that opener against USC is as big as any opener that you've had in a long, long, long time.
Peter Burns, SEC Network, I promised him we were going to talk about the Disney cruise he went on with his kids, about Blue Delta jeans. What else are we going to talk about? You know what I want to know?
By the way, I'm going to ADD you.
You just squirreled me.
I'm going to squirrel you. It's so surreal to be back in our little ESPN room where we're having meetings and you're grabbing coffee, and then all of a sudden, like right next to you is Nick Saban. And it's like, and I'm like, I don't know what do I say hi? Do I not say hi? And then he looks over and he goes, hey, how's it going? I'm like,
can I talk to you?
I'm like, what's simulation are we in? And it is like watching a masterwork. I mean, I knew he had been dialed in as far as media-wise and just everything he does, right? He's not going to half-ass anything. But the way to watch him, like, hawk down a rundown of, like, hey, here's what we're going to do. And, I mean, he's studying. He's asking questions. What do I do here? Okay, what's this? And I'm like, well, I wish I was that good at that job. And I've done this for a decade, and he just shows up, and he's just dialed in.
Couldn't you always tell, though, like, whenever he would do the national championship shows or the draft, you're like, he's going to – whenever he does this, he's going to be really good at it.
Yeah, but at some point you think, all right, it's like I got to go study a little bit of these teams and try to figure out the rosters and stuff like that. And I go, this guy is the greatest coach arguably in the history of the game. Like he pretty much has solved the former version of college football as we know it, right? And yet he's still trying to learn. And that's where I thought it was kind of interesting is like when you see greatness, like people that are truly great at what they do, there is just a different level, right? There's good, but then there is just like Steve Jobs was a different level. Like the geniuses are a different level. And I feel like when it comes to college football and even the stuff that he does, like when he talks, it's like the E.F. Hutton thing. People listen to him right now. And, you know, just his comments today about Texas saying, listen, I think Texas is really good, but this is different. You're not playing Big 12 opponents. You're not playing Kansas and Iowa State. Like you're going to Death Valley. You're going to go play, A&M. You're playing Tennessee. You're playing all these squads. Like no one's going to just run through the SEC. And I found that to be kind of interesting. Now, he did still pick Texas to play Georgia in the SEC championship, but it's interesting stuff from him.
Isn't that why – I don't want to ask a leading question. That's why I have not been sold on this Alabama team, because as good as Kalen DeBoer can be, he'll never be the greatest coach ever. No, and it's not a Kalen DeBoer, it's a whoever would have taken that job. So I don't think the standard is reachable for Kalen or anybody.
I think the standard is different, and this was something that we talked about, and when I had an opportunity to go up and get up a couple of days ago on Friday, and that was one of the conversations we had beforehand. They're like, man, how big's the gap difference now with Alabama under DeBoer and Saban? And I go, I think there's a small step back, but in a weird way, if you look at what this program's going to be probably in 27, 28, 29 going forward, you could argue that Saban, as good as he was, the greatest coach in the history of the game, that period of college football as we know it is done. The no transfer rule, the no name, image, and likeness, because I don't believe as quick as Saban is to adapt to fast-paced offenses or RPOs or hiring Lane Kiffin as his offensive coordinator, knowing that the game needed to change for him, I don't think it was in his DNA to have some 18-year-old kid sit in his office and go, what are you going to pay me?
Yeah.
I don't think that was a bridge too
it's a big reason why he's here.
For him to do it. It was the thing with Coach K. It was the thing with Roy Williams. All these greats that just said, this is not the game that I love. And so in a weird way, I think Alabama is set up for more success in 3 or 4 years under a Kalen DeBoer or somebody else than Coach Saban's demeanor or his belief system wrapped up in the college football world that we know it now.
Peter Burns here with us for a couple more minutes.
I blacked out giving actual analysis. I know. There. I don't know what happened.
Remember when I said, I know what I was going to ask you, and then you interrupted me with actual football talk?
Squirrel.
What is it going to take to get the koala picture tweets back?
We're workshopping a couple of things right now. We got our people in there. The shocked koala was always the thing. I'm trying. So the Greg McElroy.
I found a tweet from 2014 with you and the shocked koala. Which would have been the first year of the SC Network.
And I used to. I mean, the shocked koala goes back to like 2007. The origins of just the koala eating the eucalyptus leaves. Yeah. Like what the F just happened? And so I wanted to bring it back. And then I was ready. I was like, man, I'm going to lock and load on some social media this week. And you guys do a great job. I always catch your guys' stuff, and it goes viral. And then I talked to Greg McElroy, and G-Mac, I hate to say this, but looks great. He's doing good. He's in a good mood. I was like, what changed? And he's like, I got rid of social media. I was like, what? And he's like, yeah. He's like, I just couldn't do it. He's like, it's just like, what was the benefit of it? And I was like, God, look at you making positive decisions in your life. Like this upsets me. And like I want to be able to do it, but it's just like this drug that gets over me right now.
But
to me, Twitter is a sports bar. Twitter is the virtual sports bar that I can go hang out, and I could be like, can you believe this or that? And, no matter where you're at, whether you're in Houma or you're in Thibodeau or wherever, you're just like, hey, man, I watched this game. I have this reaction. And I don't get a chance to go to that many games anymore, so it's my opportunity to kind of be a fan. And even Kiffin talked about that today. He goes, I can't give interviews the way that I do on Twitter. But he's like, on Twitter, I can actually interact with some people. And some people don't like it. Some people do love it. It's just sign of the times.
I just don't care enough if someone calls me a meanie on Twitter. I can I can put my head on the pillow and be totally good.
Who's better?
You, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
I mean, Cole's always going to be better.
Yeah, totally. Cole was better. Dude, he was terrible.
He was terrible, right? Like, it was just,
thank God he was walking away. I thought he was going to try to come back and do this.
That was awkward,
Thank God.
honestly.
It really was awkward that he just came out. And then we had to pretend like he was good on air. Anyway, Peter Burns is with us, brought to you by Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com. Bumper-to-bumper auto service and name-brand tires at wholesale prices. But I have one more segment before the top of the hour. Do you have to go? I know you said – I was going to play my Mason Taylor interview from earlier, but if you can hang, we can hang.
Let's hang. Let's
hang.
talk ball.
Shaw Bills. Hey, do you need tires?
I always do.
Actually,
I really do.
Then you should go to Shaw Bills. There's locations when you come back to Port Allen.
Okay.
There's a Shaw Bills in Port Allen. Go there.
Go River Queen and Shaw Bills.
They're going to sell you the best tires on the road, cheapest price possible, guaranteed, part of the Charlie's dozen. Buy tires, find them cheaper somewhere else. They'll refund you 125% of the difference. They guarantee.
Done.
They're the best. It's Shaw Bills. And if you got like an oil change or your brakes are squeaking or any of that stuff, they can take care of you, and they treat you like family. It's Shaw Bills. ShawBillsTire.com. Shaw Bills, where we keep you rolling. Okay, so Peter's going to hang out here as we'll wrap up hour number 2, and then William Schmidt. Did you hear the news?
No.
Calici, Baton Rouge, William Schmidt.
Yes.
Number 1 right-handed pitcher. 4 go in the draft.
Let's go.
We're talking to William in 15 minutes.
Hell yeah. Let's
Live.
go.
I'm excited about that.
I might stick around for that, too. If I go, take the next day off. Like, just go. I got this thing. I've done.
Don't tempt Matt with a good time. Yeah. He's like, are you serious?
I still have to play my Mason Taylor, Harold Perkins interviews as well, and William Schmidt. So we got a ton to do. Glad you're with us here. Our coverage of SEC Media Day is brought to you by Parrish Construction Roofing and also Rev Business and Relief Windows. Don't move.
AFR.
Love telling you every single day here about Action Industries, actionindinc.com. Listen, we all know, as Peter does as well, being from Port Allen, all the plants up and down the river, huge part of our state's economy, right? Action Industries has done amazing contractor work in those plants since 1982, so 42 years. And there's 2 things you got to know. Maintenance manager, turnaround coordinators, I'm talking to you. You never hire someone to do work in a plant if they don't have an exemplary safety record. Well, that's Action Industries. Their industry record their safety record beats the industry standard. That's number 1. And number 2, because they do exemplary work and they really thrive on repeat business, that's how they've been able to stay in business for 42 years. So if you need that 100-person job, that's their sweet spot at Action Industries. If you want references or examples of their great work, give them a shout today. 2 physical locations, Geismar and Belrose. It's Action Industries. Check them out online. Action Industries, proud partner of LSU Athletics.
Value Ford has $10,000 off F-150. $10,000 off the new 2024 Ford F-150. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number 1 product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com. Oh, by the way, we do shutters too.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your number 1 park system in the nation.
Farming is a way of life for us. It's not something we get up in the morning and dread going do. It's just something we go to bed at night looking forward to getting up to go do. John Deere equipment is what we as farmers strive to have. So it's in your blood, it's in your veins. It's just a part of who you are. Green is what we want to be in. The other tractors were acquired to patch it up to get to where you want to be. Where we want to be is in John Deere. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows, windows, doors, siding. Oh yeah, they also do interior shutters.
Wrapping up hour number 2, Peter Burns good enough to hang. This has been like an SEC Network hour. Cole was here for 2 segments. Roman Harper jumped aboard. Peter Burns is with us here as well now, hanging out. Y'all just can't quit me.
I just, that's it too. But mostly it's because Rivers is hanging out. That's the whole deal.
There was a gentleman from 2 tables down at the Austin station. Rivers, you tell the story, please.
I hate the story. There's a guy, and he was at the Austin. He's a Texas guy. He comes over. I'm standing here by myself, like setting things up, and he was like, "Hey, I just want to introduce myself. I feel like you know everybody, so I just felt like I should know you too.
That's smart.
In case I need something." And I was like, "No. I am not important. I am just friendly."
That is actually, what a great.
It's a good description.
Actually, it's a good pickup line too.
It was. I mean, yeah.
Like at any point, you know, everybody. I just need to introduce myself to you because it looks like you run this thing. From now on.
I mean.
So maybe that's what he was doing. I don't know. But he made me feel good. I was like, no, I'm just friendly.
There you go.
Well, it's also, I mean, a huge advantage aside from teching everything. Rivers helps us book our guests and like works very hard to run and everything. And earlier, this was one of the wildest things as Clark Lee was walking down, and I was like, Rivers, Clark Lee. And so she took off and, like, the SID who walks in, she touches the SID on the arm. And, like, like total cold shoulder. Like just a hard rejection. Yeah. And I'm like, put your Vandy. Like, Derek Mason used to come to this thing, like, a day early and stay a day late and do like he would beg anybody to put him on air. But you know
who's to blame? It's people like us that put on TV, because what happens is they're on such a tight time schedule. And like what happens if they do an unplanned interview, all of a sudden they're 5 minutes late to the interview station, and then at the end of the day they'll get an email from the league office going like, what in the world? Like, you were supposed to have your people here at this time.
So you're the reason I got the rejection.
I'm not letting them off the hook.
I'm the reason why you couldn't get Clark
Lee
and Vanderbilt on.
I was like, hi. And he was like, no.
Because the actual answer is, hey, we're running to this. When we're done, we're coming back. Where's your table? What time can we blah? Like, let me find a solution instead of a hard no.
I think the way I look at that in all situations is it's always just better to be nice. You never know who you're being nice to, and like how that's going to come back to you in the future.
Except Cole. I don't like being nice to Cole. I feel like that's just a bridge too far for me. Maybe that's it.
So we have 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Most one football one, one non-football one. Who do you think has the most pressure on them in the SEC this year?
You know, I think people will say, Kalen DeBoer because of filling in for Saban, even Sark. I think it's Mike Elko and A&M. And the reason why I say that, I think it's so important that they don't have a bad season, right? Because you've had this, decade of time going, that you've had this, quote, head start over the Texas Longhorns. You're here in the Big Boy Conference. You're making all this money in the revenue sharing and the TV deal. And then if you, in your first year, go 6-6 or 7-5, and Matt, I think they're going to be pretty good this year. I don't know if it's 10 wins, but I think they 8 or 9 wins if Connor Wegman is healthy. But if you've got Texas in their first year playing in a college football playoff, and Mike Elko all of a sudden is 6-6 without that kind of it factor, I don't know how you bounce back from that quickly.
I know you went on a Disney cruise with your kiddos.
The best.
Best. Give me the top 5 list of the Disney cruise.
I mean, Dylan. No, it was my kid brought a Spider-Man pillow at some point. I've got go on my Instagram account and see it. It's incredible. And he was like, "Dad, can I bring the Spider-Man pillow? Can I bring
was
the
Tiger
Spider-Man?"
Joe,
And
by
I
the
was
way.
Tiger Joe Burns.
Joe Burns.
And I was like, "Buddy, we don't have room for it." Then I let him bring it. Then one dinner, he's like, "It's a Marvel-themed dinner on the cruise ship." And I'm like, "All right, you can bring your pillow or whatever." And I had no idea. Moscona, when I'm telling you Spider-Man showed up, and I was like, oh, my God, this is unbelievable. I was as excited as him. And he gets up and shows, like, Spider-Man. Like, I'm 4 years old, and I've purchased this pillow.
He's Simba-ing the Spider-Man.
Spider-Man came over, and I was like, buddy, I was like, I don't care. Like, charge me. Like, Disney could have been there with a credit card, and they'd be like, that's an extra $5,000, sir. I'd have been like, just run it. Like, it's a core memory I'll always remember.
Peter Burns, you're the best.
Thanks,
Thank you.
buddy.
All right, hour 3, William Schmidt after SportsCenter.
AFR.
All right, we're brought to you by our friends over at the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020, 924-2020. If you want to see 2020, call 924-2020 for the Williamson Eye Center. Dr. Blake Williamson, his staff, they're just the best. I've told you this, but for 76 years now, our friends over at the Williamson Eye Center have been helping Louisianians see, and they are a full-service optical shop. So it's eye care, eyewear, and eye surgery. If you need to have that annual eye exam, which, of course, parents, before your kiddos go back to school, you should absolutely have your annual eye exam. When I was a kid, my annual eye exam is how I realized I had bad eyes, and I wore glasses in the 6th grade, contacts in the 8th, and did that all the way up until I had LASIK coming up on 5 or 6 years ago now, and still seeing better than 2020. Everyone always says, best decision I made, best money I ever spent. I'm in that number as well. If you've been putting off refractive surgery, this is the day. Call the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020 or williamsoneye.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Team USA in its second exhibition matchup before the Paris Olympics defeated Australia 98-92, but the Americans did give up 68 points in the paint in the victory. Commissioner Greg Sankey, during his remarks to open SEC Media Days, reiterated the league is focused on its 16 members and he's not recruiting any others. The SEC is at 16 with the additions of Texas and Oklahoma, two schools with the talent to compete in the conference. In the opinion of SEC analyst Cole Cubelic.
I think Texas has at least a top 4, top 5 roster in the SEC, top to bottom, if you're talking talent. And I think the advantage that Oklahoma has, very talented, but Oklahoma has legitimate star power. Danny Stutzman, Billy Bowman, obviously Jackson Arnold is a super talented quarterback.
Cole on Freddie and Harry. The Columbia Football Federation's president and his son arrested at the Copa America final, accused of fighting multiple security guards at a stadium tunnel as they tried to gain access to the field. 25 others also arrested. The Mets beat Alonso, the favorite to win baseball's home run derby tonight, 8 Eastern, ESPN Radio and ESPN.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your car, home, motorcycle, commercial auto, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at progressive.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge Studios.
Let's ride.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. It's AFR presented by Relief Windows. I'm Matt Moscona. We are here live from Radio Row at SEC Football Media Days, Day 1. The LSU Tigers participated. If you missed our interview with Brian Kelly, with Garrett Nussmeier in Hour 1, those are on demand. Of course, AFR on demand, presented by Brett Golf. Coming up here in just a bit, we'll let you hear our interviews with Harold Perkins and Mason Taylor. So a ton to get to. And it would take a gigantic story to move us off of anything or everything related to SEC football here at SEC Football Media Days. But when the number 1 ranked right-handed pitcher in the entire country decides to forego the draft and head to LSU, we are most certainly going to do that when we have a chance to visit with him, and that's our pleasure right now. William Schmidt out of Catholic High, who on Sunday shocked a lot of people by announcing he would forego the draft and become an LSU Tiger, joins us now on AFR. William, we appreciate it, man. How are you?
What's up? Thanks for having me. I'm good. How are y'all?
Brother, I think everybody listening is feeling pretty fantastic to hear your voice and to found out your news. Let's just tick some boxes here, man. So when did you make the decision to forego the draft and become a Tiger?
So I talked with my parents Sunday afternoon and probably around 1 or 2 o'clock.
It was literally that late in the process. So what were the deciding factors that ultimately that made you decide to stay and have a college career at LSU?
That's just where my heart wanted to be. I grew up here. I know LSU baseball is all about really good coaching staff at the time right now. Super excited to get to work with them. And it's really just where my heart wants to be. I was 100% both ways with pro and college. But at the end of the day, my heart just wants to be a Tiger.
What did your parents and your family say when you told them your decision?
They questioned me a few times, but they fully supported me. They know it was my decision, it's my life, and they did everything that I think they should have. They supported me 100%, no matter which way I would have gone.
Were there teams that still, William, just understand, this is just out of a place of ignorance because I'll never be a number 1 right-handed pitcher having teams call me for the draft. Would teams still call you? Like, did your phone still ring yesterday even after you made your announcement?
No. The only thing that rung were the Twitter notifications for about 6 or 7 hours.
Was there any one person or thing that stood out more than any?
Not really. I didn't really look into them that much. Like, it's cool and all, but I just had to announce that so that, like, most of the other teams, knew that, like, I actually was pulling my name.
And there is, by the way, is there a formal process to withdraw, or did you just tell teams, don't draft me?
Yeah, I don't think, like, don't quote me on it, but I don't think, like, you can pull your name out of the draft. I think you just tell teams not to draft you.
Right. What was Jay Johnson's reaction when you called him to tell him the news?
So I called him, I was like, I'm going to pull the name. He said, and I was like,
wait, William. I'm sorry. Hang on one second. Your phone's breaking up. Or maybe it's my phone breaking up. Can you start that over?
Yeah, you're out. If you can.
Okay, listen. We're gonna call you right back. Something was going on there with the phone. My apologies. Let me call William right back here. And I know this is going to be somewhat clumsy. I apologize, but the way that this is connected, it's a Bluetooth call through our Roadcaster. So you're literally going to hear the phone ring whenever I dial William Schmidt back here. But that's just kind of how this has to go. So my apologies, but this is live. Hey, William.
You got it?
Yeah, we got you. We got you loud and clear. Okay, so walk me through when you told Jay Johnson you were staying.
Yeah, so I called him and I said, what's up, Coach? He's like, how you doing? And I was like, I think I'm going to pull my name. And he said, he waited a second. He was like, are you for real? And I was like, yes, sir. Like, I'm a Tiger now. And then he said something else. But he was just like, holy cow.
I love that you're laughing at his reaction.
Yeah, what's up and go?
I love it, man. William, one of the things I'm really interested in, I'd love to ask you and get your perspective on this. When I talk to scouts about you, the general feeling was coming into your senior year at Catholic, you were maybe like around 4 or 5 guy, which that's still amazing, right? And then in your senior year, you have this just massive senior year, and then all of a sudden you're in everybody's first round. That very rapid ascension, how much did that factor into your decision? Maybe not really having the time to process what happened over the past 5 or 6 months in your life.
Yeah, I'd say that has a little to do with it. Like, there's some other kids that have been training since 8th grade or freshman year of high school to get to this moment. But, like, for me, my freshman year, I was just worried about making the high school team. So, like, I guess that had a little to do with it. Like, growing up, I've always wanted to be at LSU. Like, my heart's always been there. And then even through high school, like, I always wanted to be at LSU. And it really wasn't until, like, this last year where it kind of jumped up on me and caught me, like, a little off guard. And, like, I wouldn't say I was rushed through the process, but, like, I didn't really, like, have, like, a ton of time to, like, I guess, process it and understand, like, how it all works. But I would say it had a little to do with it.
Sure. Couple more minutes here with William Schmidt. I can say LSU pitcher William Schmidt. Are you going to throw this summer?
No, sir.
Okay, so shut down for the summer. You get ready for the fall at LSU. What have you had conversations with Jay Johnson about what the expectations are or your potential role as a freshman?
No, sir, not yet. The only meeting I've had with him since I declared was another high five, a hug, and go Tigers, basically.
I love it. I love it. You know what's very relatable about you, William, is that you are me and literally thousands of other people listening right now who all just grew up loving this program. And now none of us could throw 98 with an MLB curveball, which makes you super rare and awesome. But the opportunity to play for the team you grew up rooting for, I think, is an amazing thing that most people could relate to the desire to want to do that. So if I asked you, have you given any thought to what you'd like your role to be as a freshman?
Not really. Just whatever helps the team win, whatever puts the team in the best position to be successful and bring back another national championship. Going for 8 this year. So whatever role that fits, whether I'm playing or not, I'm willing to take it on.
William Schmidt, he will be an LSU Tiger. Last thing, man, there's this part of me that goes, I looked at your pre-draft projections and all that, and I saw you anywhere, teens, 20s pick, and I look at the draft slot value, and I go, man, if that's like $3.5 million, like when you hear that, like, what does, because I'm 42, you're 18, what is that does that amount of money even seem real? Like, that you passed on that possibility right now? Does that question even make sense?
I get what you're saying. Look, the hardest decision I've ever made my entire life, but I'm putting my trust here. This is where I want to be. I got the right coaching staff in 3 years. I'll be in the same position and hopefully for even a higher dollar value.
Higher dollar value and hopefully wearing some hardware as well. Nice shiny ring or two would be pretty awesome. Hey, man.
That'd be all right.
Congratulations on your decision. I know there are a ton of people that are super pumped, a lot of, Jay Johnson included, but a ton of Tiger fans listening right now, man. Thank you. I know it's a busy 24 hours for you, man, but thank you for taking some time to join us today.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for your time.
That's our pleasure. William Schmidt, LSU pitcher. William Schmidt, good enough to join us for a couple of minutes here on AFR. It is After Further Review, brought to you by Evermore. If you're an elite athlete like William Schmidt, or you just want a healthier option for your children and your family, Evermore, all natural artesian water. Look, we're talking about a natural artesian well on the North Shore in Covington, and they pump it right out of that well into their filtration system and then right into the bottle. Never touches air until you uncap it and drink it. Nothing added, nothing taken away, nothing added for flavor. When you buy bottled water, go read the labels. Go look at things that are added or taken out of that bottled water. With Evermore, you're talking about a 100% natural artesian water. Learn more. Buy that product online at evermore.com, evermore.com, EVAMOR, evermore.com, or available at great local retailers. I love how many of you have sent me, you've bought Evermore, you've tried it, you've sent me pictures on Instagram, on the text line, on Twitter, whatever it may be, Facebook. So thank you all so much for supporting our sponsors and giving it a try and changing your habit the way I have. It's all I drink now is Evermore, EVAMOR, evermore.com. All right, thanks to William Schmidt for joining us here on the show. When we come back, we'll talk to Harold. You'll hear our conversation with Harold Perkins. You'll also this hour hear our conversation with LSU tight end Mason Taylor. LSU was here at Radio Row at SEC Football Media Days earlier today. They led off the day. If you missed our conversation with Brian Kelly or with Garrett Nussmeier from Hour 1, you can check that out on demand. However you get your podcast, just search After Further Review or on the After Further Review YouTube channel, so check that out as well. Okay, let me knock out a quick break. We'll come back. One of the gigantic storylines of this season for LSU, of course, is the defense improving. Part of that is Harold Perkins moving back to inside linebacker. Had a chance to talk about that with Harold Perkins, among other things. You'll hear that conversation when we return from Radio Row at SEC Football Media Days.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Glow Resources. If you are a business owner, I can't stress enough the importance of getting in touch with Glow Resources if, in fact, you are caught in that hiring rat race. At Glow Resources, in their professional placement division, they specialize in so many white-collar and office jobs. If it's office administration, from the executive-level assistants to assistant controllers and plant managers or scheduling assistants, basically any type of office job. Accounting, HR, marketing, managerial, or supervisor roles. One of the things that's so beneficial about Glow is they can move quickly based on your timeline. They'll perform a deep dive into market analysis. They'll give you up-to-date marketing data based on their findings, even those hard-to-fill roles. If you are the owner, the VP, the ops manager, if you're the one who's the hiring manager, you need to get in touch with Glow Resources. Save you time, save you money, be more efficient. It's Glow Resources. GLO, glowresources.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $20,000 off new 23 Ram 1500 trucks. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $20,000 off the powerful Ram truck. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Rev Business is here to connect your company beyond your storefront. We're here to power your passion, improve your communication, and link you to your customers with the services you need and the local support you deserve. Backed by our commitment to 5-star reliability. For a limited time, get internet plus 2 hosted phone lines for only $133. A powerful combination at a great price. Visit letsrev.biz. Rev Business.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, party plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com. Oh, by the way, we do shutters too.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years.
Of that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Farming is a way of life for us. It's not something we get up in the morning and dread going do. It's just something we go to bed at night looking forward to getting up to go do. John Deere equipment.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows, windows, doors, siding. Oh yeah, they also do interior shutters.
Back from Radio Row, SEC Football Media Days. Have a chance to visit now with LSU All-American linebacker Harold Perkins. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing awesome, man. We're talking to you now at what is really like the end of your day. When you go through this and you talk for like 2 and 3 hours, you probably answer the same question 500 times. So what was the one you got peppered with the most today?
I say everybody want to know about Coach Baker and the defense, things like that.
Yeah. What's been your impression of, like, not necessarily Coach Baker, just from the defensive coordinator standpoint, but just like getting to know him a little bit? Because it feels like, especially as your position coach, that matters a lot, right?
Yeah. You said what's
it been like getting to know him, like, as a person?
It's been magnificent, actually. He a great person, a great human being, great father, great husband. That's just me being around him, just picking up on some things.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a guy, I'm an observer. So it just be the small things that I notice, you know what I'm saying? And he do everything right. And I'm excited just for him to be in my room, coaching me.
Brian Kelly was talking to us earlier, and he mentioned that you're one of the best student athletes on the team. You got a 3.6 GPA. What are you studying?
I'm doing I had switched my major from sports management to, it's a weird word. I can't even think of it off the top of my head.
What do you want to, like, when playing days are done, what would you want to do? Hopefully, like 20 years after you go to the Hall of Fame and everything, right?
Yeah. I see myself doing what you're doing. Media, broadcasting. This is something that I want to do, just being on TV after the life of football.
You want an internship?
Yeah, we could talk about it.
Come on, man. We just some NIL. So we'll do an NIL deal right here, bro. We'll make this happen, man. Now you're speaking my language. I like it a lot. But the other thing I know that BK talked to us about was you moving.
Hold on, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
I just realized what my major was. Interdisciplinary studies.
Interdisciplinary studies,
Yeah.
which means you're majoring in a lot of different things,
Right.
right? A lot of different disciplines. No, man, but one of the other things obviously we talked about with BK was your move back to the inside.
Mm-hmm.
Walk me through this, because my guess is your goal is you want to be a 3-down linebacker in the NFL.
Right.
And so you don't want to, you tell me if I'm wrong, that you don't want to just be known as a edge rusher, right? So walk me through that decision where you're obviously not pandering here, man, but you're like one of the best in the country at rushing the passer. And so now you're going to do something different. Walk me through your decision to want to do that.
Well, to be quite frank with you, I want to do whatever's best for the team. You know what I'm saying? I don't have no plan, you know what I'm saying? Well, it's just me, you know what I'm saying? Because it's not just me out there, you know what I'm saying? There's 10 other guys out there too. So all the guys out there, they're playing, and you know what I'm saying, what they want, it all have to be aligned. So I just say, just trusting my coaches. I trust that they gonna do what's right for me, what's right for the team. You know what I'm saying? I don't think they're gonna put me in a position to where I won't succeed. And with the 3-down linebacker thing, I love it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't coming off the field on 4th down. So yeah. So I love it. So
you had to gain weight.
Mm-hmm.
What where are you physically right now? How much you weigh? How big are you?
225, 222, in between that range.
Do you want to play at that level, or do you want to get bigger?
No, I want to play at that range. I don't want to be no linebacker that's 230 and all that type of stuff. I like 220 is good. You know what I'm saying? I feel big myself. You know, and I feel fast too.
Who's a guy on the offensive line that when you lock up you hate going against?
I'll say it got to be out of Emory Jones and Will Campbell.
What makes them so good? Right? I mean, they're both going to be first-round picks, right?
Right.
What makes them so good?
Both of them? I'll just say their work ethic. You know what I'm saying? And them just not taking it for granted. You know what I'm saying? Them knowing I'm the best at what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? But just because they know that don't mean they're going to stop working. So I say that, and I'll say, just from me going against them every day, I say Will, I say it's his hands and his feet. You know what I'm saying? Both of them 400 pounds. So, so you would expect, you know what I'm saying? You would expect for them to move the way they move, you know what I'm saying? But they both got good hips, like great feet. You know what I'm saying? They both is way in. So I say that.
Harold Perkins is our guest. Got a couple minutes here at Radio Row SEC Football Media Days. Our coverage presented by Parrish Construction and Roofing, also Rev Business and Relief Windows. You know what's interesting? Everyone talks about the Arkansas game your freshman year, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's so odd, like if you're defined by a game when you've had such a great career already. Do you think you could do anything to surpass that game, that one individual performance? It's a team game. I know you already said that, but like, could you do something where people will talk to you about something other first than that game, where like you freaking won the game, from the defensive side?
To answer your question, I feel that anything is possible. I don't think that game happened by mistake, or you know what I'm saying, it didn't mean to happen. I feel like it was supposed to happen. Yeah, God did.
Go do a few more of those this year. I'd love to see that. Who's the best trash talker? Now that Malik Neighbors is gone, who's the best trash talker on the team? And he was the best, right?
Oh, yeah, we had a couple guys that could tie with Malik, but he was one of the best just because he talked his talk, but he also walked the walk.
No doubt about that.
So I'll probably say we got a few guys, you know. I say Major.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Major.
Yep. He'll let you know. Major Burns will absolutely let you know. Are you a vocal guy on the field? Like, do you, when in the middle of a game, you make a play? Are you talking trash, or are you just going back to the huddle?
Nah, I'm pretty sure I'll be talking. You know what I'm saying? It happened fast though. You know what I'm saying? Like you caught up in the moment and it happened fast. But I make a play. You're gonna hear about it for sure. All right. It ain't nothing, no cocky, nothing like that. But you know, I'll make a play. You're gonna hear about it.
Got a couple more for you. Just give me a thought right now about what the offense is going to be like
losing Jaden, losing Malik, losing Brian Thomas. I mean, you lose these amazing, talented guys.
Right.
I mean, you go against them every day. So, like, what should the expectation be of those guys without the stars from last year?
I think the expectation haven't changed. Obviously we don't have those same guys on the team with Malik and BT and Five. But we still have guys here. Mason Taylor. We still have Nuss. I feel Nuss is a great quarterback for us. Obviously don't have the capabilities that Jaden has when it comes to running.
You mean Nuss isn't going to run for 1,100 yards?
Might. But I'll say, yeah, just knowing why you can be a strength to the team in other areas. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel he understands his role on the team. He's not trying to come in and do too much, you know what I'm saying, or do too little. He knows exactly what he's here for, you know what I'm saying? And this is his boat, you know what I'm saying? He's driving it. So I think he's ready.
What's your personal goals for the season?
My personal goals for the season, honestly, is just to be the best person I could be the best teammate, the best family man, the best brother, just the best every day.
No sack total? No All-American?
Nah, I'm just trying to be the best. That's all.
Doing a pretty good job of it so far. It's All-American Harold Perkins. Hey, man, enjoy the rest of your day. We appreciate a couple of minutes. Good luck this season.
Appreciate you.
Continuing here from Radio Row at SEC Football Media Days, I have some reaction to what Harold had to say. Quick reminder about First South Farm Credit. Of course, firstsouthland.com, firstsouthland.com. If you are thinking about buying land, if it's that recreational property, if it's land to build that dream home, you can do it. And First South Farm Credit can make it happen, as they have done for Louisianians for more than 100 years, since 1916. You can go to firstsouthland.com, firstsouthland.com. Your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. And I know I mention this often, but it's worth mentioning over and over again. At First South Farm Credit, they're a lender that actually writes their borrowers a check every year. How often can you ever say that? Their patronage refund effectively lowers your cost of borrowing. So go to firstsouthland.com to learn more. Firstsouthland.com. Your first call should be to First South Farm Credit. That's firstsouthland.com. When Brian Kelly met with reporters earlier and he spoke about Harold Perkins, Muse, I want to play this one if we could. This is number 7 from when Brian Kelly met with the reporters in the breakout room before his main room interview. He talked about what it took for Harold Perkins to be able to physically move inside and be a 3-down linebacker.
We know what he can do on the field. Yes, the football piece, he will have a role that is not as similar as what we've seen over the last couple of years. He's going to play inside. You're going to see him physically. He's over 220 pounds. He recognizes that the next step to the league, you can't play at 210 pounds or 212 pounds, and he recognizes that. So, his versatility is going to be important to what Blake does on defense, and Harold's 100% bought into that.
I think it's so interesting for BK to have talked about the necessity of Harold Perkins buying in and changing his body. And he followed up. Muse, can we play number 8, please? So he followed up on that, knowing that, look, when you were 210 pounds when he got here, and Harold told us that he played last year at 217, now he's over 225. This is something Harold Perkins had to do to be able to get himself physically ready to play that position.
Well, look, a lot of this has to do with Harold. Harold had to make the decision that I'm going to take care of. You can't play inside linebacker at 210 pounds. Well, you say you can, but you can't because you just can't hold up inside. He now physically is able to play inside out and still is twitchy off the edge, can still cover if he needs to cover. He's made himself into the player that he needed to be, and it's going to be fun to watch him.
It is going to be fascinating to watch him and watch that linebacker room. Listen, if you want reason for optimism around this defense, I've told you this. I think the defensive ends are really good. I think Savion Jones and Parrish Shand and Braden Swinson, Deshaun Womack, that's not even counting the young guys. I think they're good. I think they've got bodies at defensive tackle, but they got a ton to prove. I think your linebackers can be very good. Greg Penn's played a ton. Whit Weeks, I think, is going to be a stud. Perkins is sort of the queen piece on the chessboard. Blake Baker's very high on West weeks. I think they could be good. Complete and total skepticism at cornerback, and I think you might be okay at safety depending on how it all shakes out. But the point being, if you're looking for a reason for optimism, I think you have spots where you're good, a lot of growth still to happen, but Harold Perkins feels like the linchpin because he's undeniably your best player on defense. Even though your defense was atrocious last year, he was still a very productive player. Can he maintain that level of productivity or increase upon it moving inside? It's a giant question. It's a big risk as well, but one they're willing to take. All right. We're here from Radio Row, SEC Football Media Days 2024, Day 1. Our coverage brought to you by Parish Construction and Roofing. Visit parishbuilt.com. That's parishbuilt.com. Coverage also presented by Rev Business and Relief Windows. We are not here without those great businesses making this trip possible, so we appreciate them greatly, and please, we encourage you to support our great sponsors. All right, let me knock out a break. We'll come back. We also had a chance to visit with Mason Taylor, LSU's junior tight end who's looking for a big season. You'll hear that conversation with Mason Taylor when we continue on AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by the Watermark Hotel and the Renaissance Hotel, two amazing hotel properties in Baton Rouge. Watermark downtown, Renaissance Southtown on Bluebonnet. Hey, look, big congrats to our friends at the Watermark. If you haven't heard yet, the Best of 225 awards were announced just a few weeks ago, and the Watermark Hotel was voted by you the best hotel in Baton Rouge in the Best of 225 awards. And when you walk into the Watermark, you kind of understand it. It is a one of one. They converted the old Louisiana National Bank building into a hotel. They've maintained so much of the historical significance, the marble staircase, a lot of the art, the original art in the building, while adding modern amenities. And one of the really cool things, you walk in and you walk down that marble staircase, that's where the old bank vaults were. They've turned those into conference rooms and meeting areas. You want to have a banquet, that's a great place to do it. When you go upstairs, there's amazing guest rooms. Some of them are these old, like, concrete wall now with skylights. It is truly, truly a one-of-one experience. Check it out downtown, the Watermark Hotel.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency. The light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, party plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows, windows, doors, siding. Oh yeah, they also do interior shutters.
Rolling along our coverage from SEC Football Media Days, Radio Row. Our coverage all week presented by Parish Construction and Roofing, also Rev Business and Relief Windows. Pleasure to be joined by LSU junior tight end Mason Taylor. How are you, man?
Good. Thank you for having me.
It's our pleasure. We're talking to you now kind of as the day has wrapped up. I'm curious, usually when you come to something like this and you end up talking, you've been talking now for like 3.5 hours, you probably get peppered with a lot of the same stuff. What's the thing that you got hit with the most today?
I'd say just offense questions, filling in the holes of production. I think that's been a huge question today. Just the loss of production from 2 first-rounders leaving and how we respond to that.
Yeah, man. Let me ask, I think your progression through 3 years has been pretty fascinating because Brian Kelly has this reputation of pumping tight ends into the NFL, right? I don't know if you know this, but in his 10 years at Notre Dame, he pumped as many tight ends into the NFL draft as LSU did from 1981 to now.
That's crazy.
So, yeah. So, I mean, it's like walk me through, though, your progression. Because when you signed, you were like 220. Is that about right?
Yeah, like 230, yeah.
Maybe around there. So walk me through how you've continued to build yourself physically from when you signed to now.
I think the biggest thing is just having open ears and taking coaching. I think people of the profession know what's best for you. So the coming in, the coaches, the strength staff, the nutrition staff, all of them, like just listening and kind of taking in all those tips and pointers. Like if you really apply yourself to what they're telling you, you'll become successful. And that's something I did early. I was just open. They know more than me. I'm going to listen to them. And just taking that coaching and learning from it is what made me the man today.
What about physically? Like, how big are you now?
I'm 255 right now.
So you went from 225, 230 to you've gained 25, 30 pounds over these 3 years. Do you feel like you're ready to be like an NFL, like a physically ready to be an NFL tight end?
I think so. And it just every single year you gain that strength and that weight and that maturity. So it's just a process. And I think with time coming, that's definitely the plan.
Let's talk about health. Like your freshman year, you had a shoulder, right? Was that coming in? You had a shoulder deal, or did it happen during your freshman year?
I had a slight one in high school. I don't think it was the same shoulder though, but I think my freshman year around like the first couple games, it was bothering me. Didn't think too much about it, finished out the season. And then after the season, we figured out I had a torn labrum, but it didn't stop. It didn't I just put a brace on it and play with it. It didn't stop me from playing any games or anything like that. As long as it stayed in, it was fun.
So. A pretty good year as a freshman. I mean, you had one of the best receiving years for a tight end in history doing it as a freshman. What about last year? How'd you feel physically last year?
I felt good. Other than the little ankle sprain I had that tweaked me up a little bit, it was fine. But I fit a role in our offense where we needed it to be. I think we found something we did really good at, which was throwing to our 2 first-rounders. And as long as we're successful, I'm fine with that. So I fit my role in the offense. I'm helping wherever I need to help.
Yeah.
And we were really successful doing it.
What about going into this year, where obviously Brian Kelly talked to us about like why you're here. And I mean, look, Will Campbell isn't, right? But he's like, people know Will Campbell and people need to know Mason Smith and why, or excuse me, Mason Taylor. Yeah. Everyone's going to keep doing that. Mason Taylor and why he's such a big part of what we do. So when you look at how your role may evolve this year at LSU, like, does it, like, I guess the question I'm asking is, does your role change like within the offense with Joe Sloan, with not having the dynamic of Jaden's running ability? Does your role change?
I think I need to be, I need to gain the trust of my quarterback and offensive coordinator. I think filling in those roles and taking those opportunities to make those plays, I need to prove to them that I can, so I can be one of those guys that fill in those holes. And I think I'm capable of doing it. I keep working hard and keep developing through fall camp and really show that I can fill these holes.
Love it, man. So, did I see your sister is committed to LSU now or signed? Yep. What sport's she playing?
Beach volleyball.
So she'll be here in the fall?
In August, yeah.
How about that, man? Like, is your family just like total purple and gold now?
Yeah. I think a lot of people from South Florida are now. My family, friends. I was telling them earlier. I have people that go to Florida State, go to Florida, like all my friends, and they wore LSU merch more than they do their own merch. So
do you get any grief at home?
I don't think so. I think everyone loves LSU, so it's definitely back. I'm kind of bleed purple and gold around my parts of town back in Florida, and they love it.
And your dad is on staff though at Miami.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I mean, do you ever sneak him like a purple and gold shirt, a hat?
Oh
make
yeah,
sure
he loves to steal my gear, and I don't get much, so he loves to take it. And I think they had a picture of him coaching one of the games because he's a defensive line coach at University of Miami. He has a LSU bracelet on as he's on the field coaching, and that's just who he is. He loves to support me and my brother, so that's just the type of guy he is.
A couple more minutes here with Mason Taylor, Radio Row SEC Football Media Days. Of course, everybody. It was interesting. I talked to Harold Perkins a little while ago, and I brought up the Arkansas game and how as a freshman he had this incredible game. Well, like same thing for you with the 2-point conversion. Like Mason, like a lot of players will go their entire careers never have a moment like that, right?
Yes,
that forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever. Like whenever you're old and gray and you come back to Baton Rouge, people are going to tell you, "I remember where I was when you caught that ball." Sure. Like, do you look at that as a defining moment, or how do you think about like building on something like that happened? It was such a giant moment of success so early in your career.
No, yeah, that was definitely awesome to have my freshman year. I think that really gave me enough confidence to play it through that season, and that really helps you build your confidence, is knowing that you can make plays like that, and just knowing you're able and capable of doing that makes you evolve as a player, and I think it makes you a better player.
What was it like being on the field after the field storming?
It was insane. I think it took me, the field's 100 yards, well, 120 if you count the end zones or whatever, but I think it took me maybe 15, 20 minutes to get back to the locker room. So it was actually ridiculous, but it was a great surreal moment for sure.
What do you think about the opener against SC in Las Vegas, when you have a big game like that you know you're starting the season with a big game? Now you've done it 3 years now, but does it channel your preparation in the offseason knowing that game is there to start?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we love big games here at LSU, and I think that's one of the things we look forward to. In fall camp, we know we gotta push each other to start fast, and once we do that and stick to our process, we'll be successful.
I know they're giving me the rap because you got to go eat medium rare. How do you get your steak?
Medium rare.
That's a good man.
Yep.
That is the only answer.
Yep.
Mason Taylor, junior tight end at LSU. Thanks for the time, man. Good luck this season.
Good luck this season.
We appreciate Mason Taylor. Excuse me. We appreciate Mason Taylor for his time. As we appreciate Harold Perkins, Brian Kelly, Garrett Nussmeier, a really jam-packed show. We also spoke earlier today with Alex Huntley, big defensive tackle from South Carolina. Of course, LSU visits Columbia in Week 3. It'll be a massive game for LSU. If they were able to start 3-0, get past USC West and USC East, and maybe on their way to a massive collision with Ole Miss and Baton Rouge the second week of October. All right, it's After Further Review, brought to you by Parish Restoration. Of course, I've told you for years, Mold Zero, Pure Restoration. Well, my guy Jim Woodworth merged with Ryan Terrio, Richard Tilley, the Parish family, and so they rebranded under the Parish umbrella. So it's Parish Restoration. Still the same patented non-toxic dry fog treatment. You want to kill mold, remove odor. Parish Restoration can do it. It's going to be more efficient and more cost-effective. So you have mold in your home. I mean, within a half a day, they spray. As soon as the fog dissipates, you're back into a fresh-smelling, mold-free home. Office buildings, commercial buildings, they can do it all. As a matter of fact, of all the companies in the U.S. that license that technology, no company dry fogs more square footage annually than Parish Restoration. So go to parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com, parishbuilt.com. Hit the Restoration tab, and you get all the info you need right there, how you can get that free estimate. Parish Restoration. Go to parishbuilt.com. I think with Mason Taylor as a part of this offense, I think he might be the guy that benefits most from Jaden Daniels' exit. Because as we talked about with Nussmeier earlier, he's not going to replace 1,100 rushing yards. We know that. Garrett Nussmeier had 1 rushing yard a year ago. 1. So how do you make up for those 1,100 yards? Well, the answer is, well, it could be running backs or it's the intermediate passing game, and it really feels like Mason Taylor is going to be one of the recipients of that benefit. It's why Brian Kelly brought him here. And listen, when they announced the attendees, I was pretty vocal. I mean, that should have been Will Campbell, and I think it's a massive reason for opportunity for Will Campbell because he's going to be up for every award. He's going to be up for all SEC, All America, Outland, everything. And a lot of times, being at events like this, I don't want to say put you on the map, but it puts you on an even grander scale. And but similarly, that's the same reason why Brian Kelly told us earlier why he brought Mason Taylor. He said people know Will Campbell, they know Harold Perkins, they know Garrett Nussmeier. People need to know the importance of Mason Taylor. He had 36 catches for 348 yards last year. His freshman season, 38 for 414. I mean, it was one of the greatest receiving seasons for a tight end in LSU history as in his freshman year, now through 2 seasons. And he's got an opportunity, potentially in this season to break Thad Moss's single-season receiving record for a tight end. And if he does, I think he could certainly be a guy that is looking at the NFL draft, coming the springtime. So really appreciate Mason for his time. I mean, 6'6", 255 right now. He has grown into a full-on prototypical NFL-sized tight end. See what he can do here in his junior year. Okay, it's after further review. Our coverage here from Radio Row of SEC Football Media Days, presented by Parrish Construction and Roofing, parrishbuilt.com, and, of course, also presented by our friends at Rev Business and Relief Windows. Let me knock out our final break of the show. We'll come back, put a button here on day 1 from Radio Row at SEC Football Media Days, and set the stage for what you can expect day 2 here in Dallas. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Clegg's Nursery with 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. You know where to find them. Siga near Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Don Moore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. Oh, it's hot outside, and I know maintaining your lawn and your garden when the temps are like they are can be really challenging. So sometimes if you're not a green thumb, if you don't have time to be in your garden every single day, maybe the answer is planting tropical flowers and plants that don't need a ton of care, that can be exposed to consistent sunlight and heat and can still thrive in that climate. Well, our friends at Clegg's Nursery have all those answers for you. So something I always recommend, take a picture of your flower beds based on the sunlight and the exposure where they are. Like a lot of times they'll have an option for you based on all those conditions. If you're not sure what to plant, they can help. If you know what you want, they got the best selection and all the accessories you need. It's at Clegg's Nursery for more than 60 years. Get by any of the 4 locations. It's Clegg's Nursery.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Farming is a way of life for us. It's not something we get up in the morning and dread going do. It's just something we go to bed at night looking forward to getting up to go do. John Deere equipment is what we as farmers strive to have. It's in your blood, it's in your veins. It's just a part of who you are. Green is what we want to be in. The other tractors were acquired to patch it up to get to where you want to be. Where we want to be is in John Deere. Flip the switch and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app.
After further review, presented by Relief Windows, Windows, Doors, Siding. Oh yeah, they also do interior shutters.
All right, down the stretch we come. Final segment here on this this Monday edition of AFR, presented by Relief Windows. Of course, title sponsor of our Monday shows all throughout the year. And of course, one of our presenting sponsors as well here from Radio Row at SEC Football Media Day. It's been a great day. We did have William Schmidt on the show to start hour number 3. Muse, do me a favor if you would, because we're here and there was a lot of movement in the draft. Please, if you would, just take a quick minute and just catch us up on what's transpired today in the draft.
Sure, like you said, definitely a lot of movement. Busy day for LSU, but not a terrible day for LSU if you're looking towards next year's team. So obviously you had White, Holman jump day 1. Day 2 got underway. Thatcher Hurd went in the 3rd round to the Yankees. He was followed up by signee Cale Fountain, went in the 5th round to the Padres, so he will not be in Baton Rouge. Griffin Herring to the Yankees in the 6th round. Fidel Ulloa to the Rockies in the 7th round. And then Luke Hayden, the transfer from Indiana State, was selected in the 8th round by the Reds. Nate Ackenhausen, the final pick, well, not the final pick, but actually close to the final pick of the day in the 10th round to the Royals. So in all, 4 signees for LSU in the top 10 rounds, 7 players. The 7 players is the second most in the draft behind only Tennessee.
Interesting. Okay. I'll have to go back and check my notes about Cale Fountain and you know, what the possibilities there were. The Luke Hayden thing is not surprising, I think, for one gigantic reason, and that gigantic reason is William Schmidt. Whenever we looked at, and I guess I can give a plug here. So if you're not subscribed yet to Locked On SEC, to Locked On SEC, but Locked On LSU as well, I would greatly appreciate it if you go subscribe to that podcast. I started Locked On LSU back in 2018, did it for about 4 years, stepped aside from that, and now have resumed it. But over the weekend, we did a whole draft preview where we looked at all the prospects. And one of the things that we talked about with Schmidt and the possibility also of Bear Jones returning is, look, you signed 8 right-handed pitchers out of the portal, and with Schmidt coming to campus, it was very likely that one of the portal guys would either be encouraged to sign like Luke Hayden, or you might see a portal guy elect to ask for his release and go. Just look at if you're coming here via the portal, you're coming to pitch. And with William Schmidt coming to campus, that takes someone's spot and takes someone's innings. The same would also be true at that first base DH, right? You added 3 guys in that first base DH role. So if Bear Jones returns, which obviously going through today and him not being taken, that tells you he's likely coming back. Now, there's always a possibility that someone could take him day 3, and then they find money, and then they oversign. That could happen. But it feels very, very, very likely after today has come and gone now that what seemed to transpire over the last week, the flip of like Herring signing and Bear Jones returning, is going to happen. So I look at the 3 first base DH, Dalton Beck, Eddie Yaman, and Luis Hernandez, and look at like one of those guys probably it would stand to reason to Barrett Jones' back. One of those guys probably finds their way out either into the draft or into the back into the portal to find another spot. Again, I'm not breaking news. I don't know. I'm just playing the numbers game of how these things typically transpire. So we'll see. But all things considered, man, for Jay Johnson, he's got to be over the moon with how it's transpired here through the first 2 days of the MLB draft. Okay, it is after further review. Day one here from Radio Row at SEC Football Media Days is in the books. If you missed anything, OTB had, I don't know, a 12-minute live interview with BK. I was able to meet with BK in the breakout room. Had all 3 LSU Tigers on AFR today. If you missed anything from OTB or from AFR, here from Radio Row, make sure you catch it on demand. AFR On Demand presented by Brett Golf. Just go to your favorite podcast app, search Off the Bench or After Further Review, and you'll catch all of that there on demand. Thanks to Moose and Paulie back in studio. Rivers Huey on site doing an awesome job. We appreciate it greatly. Day 2 tomorrow. Greg Sankey will be here. Georgia, Oklahoma has their first turn at Radio Row here at SEC Football Media Days. We're looking forward to a big one tomorrow, and we'll look for you there on After Further Review from Radio Row in Dallas.
AFR.
As we get on down the road, remind you about Michelli Weighing and Measurement, Michelli.com, Michelli.com, with more than 30 offices across a dozen different states. If you weigh or measure something, Michelli sells, services, rents the products that you use to weigh and measure, and they're just the best. They're actually our nation's largest distributor of scales. I tell you that all the time, and that's significant. I mean, we were at the airport yesterday checking in. You're going to check a bag. You put your bag on the scale. You look to the side of the scale. You see the little Michelli sticker right there because – I mean, businesses that use precision measurement equipment or weigh anything, they trust Michelli and have for more than 75 years. Michelli offers ISO 17025 accreditation. If you don't know what that is, you don't need it. If you know what it is, you know why that's important, and Michelli offers it. They service all scale and measurement equipment makes and models. It's Michelli Weighing and Measurement. And again, they got offices in more than a dozen different states, literally from Florida all the way to California, and points in between. It's Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Michelli.com, Michelli.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $20,000 off new 23 Ram 1500 trucks. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $20,000 off the powerful Ram truck. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Rev Biz